Miracle's there, ready to turn. BKB's popped by mind control. Matuma jumping in from the side. Fisher comes out, but Ori already has the BKB on. He gets himself back. Miracle still trying to move forward with his own BKB. It's going to run short pretty shortly. VG keeping them at bay. No one to fall as of yet. The pipe's out. Look at the Dragon Tail stun. Out onto Matuma Man. Paparazzi with the wraparound. Finds the concoction onto Miracle. Pops down the acid spray in the raided. But GH jumps in on the backlines. Gets the two-man Echo Slam. Holding 11 and let him out. And they have to rift out of there. They want this fight done and dusted. They're looking to try and save that Alchemist. But no, they didn't get a range of him. What is this taxi service? Every time, people getting left behind. Femur again. That's the last time he uses that service. And there you lose two, maybe even more. Ori getting forced back to base. These rifts just haven't been great enough for VG. Paparazzi having to buy back.
GH again coming in super clutch there, and also Matuma Man's BKB usage there. Paparazzi starts charging the stun, trying to run away from him. Matu pops BKB, Paparazzi stuns himself, and he's able to clean him up on the sidelines there during that whole fight.
And now this tier 3 getting pressured. Ori, the Shadow Blade, maybe see if he can get a lead in. But it's scary. Liquid to find the Chen as well. VG Gaming will put a stop to that push attempt from Liquid.
Ori able to find the real PL there. Kuroki got a bit scared there. He actually just sent home Miracle during his BKB, and they had to instantly disengage from the fight, losing a very costly Aegis and Matu. Still a 4K lead for Liquid, but VG showing they can still take these fights, and Paparazzi just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
He does.
Let's see what I'm really curious to see if he does take the cleave talent.
I think he's going to take the damage.
I think he would, just because he's versus a PL. He wants to be able to stand toe to toe.
Because the cleave, you don't get it on the illusions.
Of course not.
Just for yourself.
Yeah.
If you did, it would be a no-brainer. But we'll see. 25%, you know. But you're right. In the
he takes the concoction damage.
Yeah, he takes the concoction.
It's too much damage.
It really is. 400.
I thought maybe he would change it because he's versus the PL, but...
Sure, that could have been an argument. Could have certainly been an argument. But he's already got ways to cut through again. We'll see this fight again round this mid lane. And as you say, GH coming on the backlines to disrupt it. And I guess the Underlord just, he couldn't get in range of that Alchemist to take him home.
Look at Matumba in the top there of the fight. You can't really see it so much here, but with that BKB, he's able to isolate Paparazzi in 11. He can't get to his teammates.
And that would have been the big save, because as we saw, Paparazzi was forced to expend his buyback because he wasn't saved in that situation. 11 just couldn't quite get there to him.
So 6-second cooldown on Unstable Concoction with 800 max damage. That could prove to be some fun.
What's he going for next? Just that Shiva's Guard. About 1,500 gold, and the Alchemist will have it. And then at the level 25, what do you even say? I can't remember the last time I saw a level 25 Alchemist. The regen sounds pretty good. I guess it depends how you want to play. If you do want to transition into sort of a right clicker, but if he's not taking the cleave, maybe not. Maybe he doesn't take the base attack.
I think he might just want to be the survivable with the build that he's been going for too.
That's a lot of regen. That's what, 86 health regen then when you pop that ult.
Will be quite a lot, yeah. Won't be a game changer. It's going to be all through plays in this game.
Yeah, they really need that Dragon Knight to pack a punch, but as it is, Ori just building fully for the initiation, for the Shadow Blade into the Blink Dagger.
I do feel like they need him to be that level 18 in particular. Having that level 3 Blue Dragon for them to slow and be able to splash down those PLs is going to be really useful for them.
They are holding on VG Gaming, but as we keep saying, you never want to be behind a net worth if you're an Alchemist lineup, and that is where Liquid have been constantly able to keep VG. Liquid have that lead, 4K at the moment. Miracle continuing to get bigger and bigger as he has pretty much got the money for the completed Skadi.
They're keeping all the lanes pushed into, so it's forcing VG to assess those. So every time they go for these smoke movements, Liquid does know. They see bottom, nobody's there. They see top illusions are pushing out. They assume that VG smoked. They're positioning themselves on the high ground again. Full Skadi now, as well as cheese on Miracle.
It's a tricky PL. Shiva's Guard as well finished actually for mind control. So both teams have their own share of that. And very intrigued to see what Paparazzi does queue up next. I mean, is it a game where there's any sort of agonyms he can get for his teammates to change the game? I don't think it is really. There's not any sort of amazing ones.
Naga Ags is always pretty nice.
It's
that
nice.
reset for the heal, it's nice. It's not going to add anything to damage to their lineup, which they're still lacking a bit.
I mean, maybe he even gets to the point where he starts sort of shoveling out moon shards to his Dragon Knight. That alongside his level 3 out of Dragon Form, once he does hit that 18, will be quite a boost up to his damage.
He's gonna have to go for the BKB, it seems.
Okay. Really does want to be that frontliner in these fights.
It's really hard for them to actually bring down the Alk and the DK because they're still pretty tanky. It's mostly up to the Ursa, but now Miracle does have Eye of Scotty, so he's actually...
Punt slightly, but looks like GH will be fine.
But Mind Control is just gonna force in the mid lane, try to make them take a different fight, try to make them respond to mid as well as take the engagement. And now Miracle's leading the way.
He is. Looking for a lock onto the 11. Straight away jumps in. Onto the Underlord, the doppelganger as well. 11 pretty much out of mana. They try for the concoction, but Miracle's popped the BKB. Ori on the backlines as well, pops his own BKB, but the Handocock comes out. Liquid back up to full health. Lanham has to be careful. They are going to go for the rift out. VG realizing they cannot take this fight. They'll get themselves out of there, back to base. But once again, Fenrir, I don't think we've seen him join a single rift. He's been either dying or left behind every time. It's the sad life of a witch doctor.
It's a hard witch doctor game. It's versus a PL. He's not going to have a lot of fun this game.
Let's see what they can do in terms of a defense, VG. So far, I can only feel that
they're getting out-resourced.
Yeah. These lanes just being shoved in heavily. And it really does feel like with this game, if anything, is sort of a demonstration of why we just don't see Alchemist played. Because you've got to ask yourself, what has it done this game? And I think your silence is pretty much the right answer.
He's been tanking up. It really hurts just because of how behind Ori is on the Dragon Knight. So he's really their only kind of damage besides the Underlord with the Firestone, which is percent based. And now third Roshan spawns. Look at quickly make their way in. That's a refresher shard too.
I don't know if VG are getting here anywhere close enough to contest this. I mean, Ori's trying to move across. Is he actually going to head towards the pit? That's the question already. GH is positioned, ready to block off any sort of attempt. And of course, with an Ursa on their lineup, Roshan melts. It's gone. For the time being, they'll hold the refresher shard on Matsumaman. Double Enrage. With that Aghanims especially, and with the BKB, makes this target very hard to bring down.
I think you give that one to GH. Yeah, he just passed it off.
Oh,
GH especially
the double slam.
Just getting double fissures, double slams, all that control for his team to do the damage in the lineup.
And honestly, that shard is the absolute dream for a Shaker. Because sure, it's always fun when you see the refresher plays, but you're a Shaker, your mana pool ain't great. At least with the shard not costing any mana, you've at least got the chance to get out that full double combo.
They're about to have Butterfly finish now on Miracle too. The 3 cores on the side of Liquid are just keeping that farm up while it seems like both the Underlord, 11, and Ori, their farm has stagnated completely. It's just the Alchemist getting more and more gold, and his teammates just kind of stuck in the base, unable to farm anything.
Shadowblade's there, of course, for GH as well to help him close the gap. He's got all the tools to position himself. Force, Blink, and Shadowblade. So you can bet yourself that we are very likely to see something incredible from GH.
They've got DD now on Miracle. They're looking to go. They've got their lanes in a great position too. This is the fight Liquid's looking for.
This bear, pretty much invincible, as we said. Low cooldown on the Enrage. Jump forward from Ori. Will go for the stun, but there's double damage on the PL. They do have to lock down with the second stun. Have they got anything further? Fisher comes out onto Paparazzi. There's the jump. Comes in with the first Echo Slam. But the Meteor Armor's down. The Concoction as well. Paparazzi. They have been able to take down this Earthshaker. The Death Ward as well, beating into Liquid, forcing them back. Matsumaman, he swallows the Gorgonzola, but there's trouble for the PL. Miracle's falling low. He's going to go down. They pop the Aegis. VG, they're somehow doing it. They've got the stun onto Matsumaman. He pops the Enrage, but the cast bouncing between himself and Kuro holds him down. Matsumaman will fall. Another Concoction onto Kuroki. VG Gaming, they're holding against this Aegis Cheese push. They're perfect lockdown from hero to hero. Honestly, with this lineup, I feel like they couldn't have given themselves a harder lineup to pull these sort of fights off, but they are doing it. They're showing off here.
Look at the Alchemist's damage in the fight. He's pretty much everything for them. He's got,
oh my
he got 6 unstable concoctions off.
Well, that's what the Alchemist does. VG Gaming say, in response to my question earlier.
Yeah, just they kept the fight also around the Pit of Malice. So as soon as those BKBs wear off on Liquid, they just started getting chain pitted. And they're still having trouble. They are having trouble actually focusing fire and burning somebody down because of all those auras, like you were mentioning earlier. The Atrophy aura starts building up, as well as the Greaves and the Pipe. Even versus a PL who's this stacked.
And as we say, you know, we've got to remember that with that damage, it is a lot of damage from the concoction. That's an 800 physical damage you can max charge on a 6-second cooldown. So you are getting easily 2 of those out each fight. Mid lane, the push comes through. The tier 1 falling low thanks to the Meteor Hammer. They'll get it. Mind Control will get the deny. More defensive items coming out for 11. He's got the Crimson Guard. VG Gaming, could it be that their plan of action with this Alchemist pick is starting to unfold? We're starting to see what sort of potential it can hold in these defenses against Liquid.
They're starting to get that farm too on their other cores that they really desperately need. The Maelstrom's almost finished up on Ori. Level 18 now too, so he's got that level 3 Dragon form.
And that right click, sorely needed. And it's getting there. That Dragon Knight. The Axe, they're beginning to be built here by Paparazzi. He's got his first one queued up. As we said, where's it going to go? That last fight, the Death Ward looked pretty nice from Fenrir. I feel like he's been a bit of a forgotten man, as we've said with the Rift players. You've got to give this Witch Doctor some love. But do you think he'll be more likely to be the Naga?
Naga or Underlord, more than likely.
Okay.
Because Underlord's also is pretty decent.
Sure.
If he can survive throughout the whole fights, your Atrophy aura starts to build up a lot on your teammates. You get a lot of bonus damage if you kill any heroes. Paparazzi just on Bounty Rune Collection. He's got the first Aghanims when he wants to pick it up. He wants to save for buyback though.
Understandable, because Liquid, they are looking to knock on the doorsteps once again as they come down mid. They do still have a cheese on Mind Control, and they do still have the Refresher Shard on Concoction. Quick Doppelganger from Miracle keeps them safe. Doing their best to clear out the waves here with the Acid Spray, the Breathe Fire, the Radiance.
They've got such good high ground defense with all the spam. Liquid kind of feels like they just got to keep farming some more. Get that bigger net worth advantage until they can see a perfect jump from GH with that Refresher Shard. Smoke comes out, Vici.
They're looking for the opening. Miracle quick with the Doppelganger. Ori coming in. They have managed to find the real one, and he's got the lockdown. Jumps in with the Dragon Tail. GH is there with the Fisher, but the BKB is already out from Ori. Miracle pops his own BKB, keeps the distance. Mutuma with his BKB tries to prioritize Ori, but the Glimmer Cape comes out, keeping Ori safe. Now he turns Dragon Tail onto Miracle. Miracle's gone. They've got him. They've taken down the PL. They're jumping, trying to chase for Mutuma Man. Mutuma Man, can he keep the distance here? Paparazzi's got the Concoction, throws it out. That range, but the blink is there. Mutuma Man jumps up, but he can't be disjointed. They'll continue to try and chase, but the stun time not too long, as he was unable to fully charge it up, but still, that's the Phantom Lancer gone. Miracle dead for 80 seconds. They'll take the Courier, and VG Gaming, they're now the ones pushing. They're the ones on your tier 2, and they are looking for more.
With these 3 tanky cores, it does seem like it's just so hard for Liquid to actually focus fire anyone down. As soon as they get their BKBs up with this high armor.
And now they're on the high ground, but the Fisher block comes out. Paparazzi's been separating, but Mutuma Man enrages himself out of the pit. VG Gaming prioritizing the towers here. Fortification comes out from Liquid.
They're trying to force this buyback.
Mind Control. Has to be a little careful. If they get the grab, and they do, Ori jumps in with the Dragon Tail. First Fisher comes out for GH. Jump forward to man, looking towards Ori, but the BKB comes out. They're trying to move themselves out of this one. The route through the BKB, holding back Mind Control. He can't chase. Mutuma Man's trying. The Rift is going to be out of there. They get everyone out. So they'll back up. They'll retreat, VG Gaming.
As soon as their BKBs go down, they start being very careful, because that's where GH was sitting in the backlines waiting to find the Echo Slam.
I think there as well, we saw GH try for the force play on Paparazzi. Was trying to get Paparazzi out of range of the Rift, but couldn't quite force him far enough. And here's that Axe. Let's see where it goes then, Fog. Who is he going to go and give that one to? Keep it on himself for now. We'll see who gets a bit of the old Paparazzi love. As he is also closing in on that 25, so we'll see what he takes there.
Paparazzi's done 40% of his team's
damage.
That's
crazy. That's the power, just constantly having these Radiance Illusions split up.
It is to Fenrir.
It is.
Right.
Oh, some love for the Witch Doctor. I'm happy with that one. Fenrir, he's been having a bit of a rough one. A lot of hate going his way, but now he finally feels the warm, acidic love of the Alchemist.
Works really well, too, versus the Phantom Lancer, because it gives True Strike, so he can clear out those illusions pretty nicely, even if they have the Butterfly.
Okay. Ori, the Shadow Blade, he's looking for Miracle. He's trying to find the real one. Is he going to get the call right? No, Doppelganger's out. Miracle will be able to back up. Jump forward though. No, he still found him. He gets in, but Matuma there though. The Fisher from GH disrupting the follow-up for Vici. They'll try with the concoction. But already Matuma getting out of there. Miracle does get sent home. That concoction will still be delivered straight to his head. But they do manage to get out of there. Making the space though around the pit. Roshan will be up in a couple of minutes.
It just seems so hard for Liquid to bring down any of these tanky cores, especially when they've got their BKBs on. The Phantom Lancer does not deal that big damage when he's standing inside of the Atrophy Aura at all times.
Absolutely, yeah, this Atrophy Aura, the combination with that, the Crimson Guard, the Greaves, the Pipe, this sort of, the Underlord pick making absolute sense in this context. And again, another one of those heroes that does get questioned quite a few times. We see it come up, but we're seeing 11 push it to the max this game. Looks like Paparazzi back to a bit of shopping for himself before the next axe comes through. Gets himself a nice new pair of shoes as he upgrades to the bots too.
Found himself an Arcane Rune during all that too, so he's going to be able to keep that Chemical Rage active during the next 2 fights. And now, speaking of tanky cores, they just became even tankier. 37 armor on the Dragon Knight.
As we're seeing with that Maelstrom, he's doing damage in these fights. Sorry, as you mentioned, that Elder Dragon form level 3, the Maelstrom, once he has the Mjolnir, this PL is going to have a very tough time in these fights. Miracle's illusions will get quickly farmed through. But as we can see, definitely still worth to know how well Miracle is farming. I mean, he's 3k behind an Alchemist. He's on 30k net worth for 45 minutes. Like, that is, again, some pretty insane farm on this PL. We'll see what he goes for next with his itemization. He does have 6k saved up at the moment, Miracle.
I'm wondering if we're going to see Nullifier plays come into play.
Now, Paparazzi, let's due back up to the Aghanims. See who gets a bit of the love next.
Roche is up very soon, 14 seconds.
This game certainly padding out to be the game 3 that we hope for. As at this stage, still 46 minutes in, very hard to call. But if anything, this sort of slow swing around back in favor of Vici Gaming has to be incredibly worrying for Liquid. We're into the pit, Liquid. Vici Gaming fully aware. Can they go in and try for the disrupt? Can they try for the steel play? Paparazzi TPing over. He's ready to join the gang. See, they've got the Fisher coming out. 11 just heading straight into the pit, and because of how big and tanky these heroes are, Liquid is sort of heading out to the side. The mana of 11 getting burnt down by these illusions.
He's down to only 140. He's got Soul Ring and
Ori,
Creeps.
he found some mana on the side, but immediately the Enrage there to remove the stun. Paparazzi coming in for the side, has the concoction. Second stun holds back this Ursa. They'll move forward, trying to focus Miracle. Miracle's trying to finish off Ori. The cast bounce down. There's the death for Ferret, doing so much damage here onto Miracle, but the Echo Slam comes out for GH. They're trying for the turn. There'll be a buyback from Ori. Can they turn this one around? Liquid moving forward. Paparazzi being surrounded, mind control, healing up Miracle there with the life drain. They've got the concoction. Paparazzi, can he find the setup? Miracle with the doppelganger up to the high ground, will get away. They'll turn for mind control. Mind control also buying back into this one. Paparazzi, he can still see Miracle moving off to the side. He'll turn for the easy kill. Look for Kuroki, but Matuma jumps in. Paparazzi pops the Manta style, trying to keep the distance. Kuroki being kept alive by the defensive death grab fight, but the stun comes in. Unstable concoction from Paparazzi finishes off the job. Miracle falling very low. Mind control's got to be careful. He brought back for this fight. Tries for the Manta style dodge, but it's not there. Miracle gets stunned up by the concoction. Liquid, they've lost 2. There'll be a buyback now coming through from Lanham. BG wanting to maintain control around this pit. As these fights getting thicker and faster, these buybacks coming through. Miracle as well knows that they have to make sure that they get this Roshan.
The ongoing fights, the Chemical Rage just comes back online, and there's just so much sustain coming out on the side of Vici. They're unable to actually bring these heroes down easily.
Absolutely.
I mean, they have to commit so much to just bring down a Dragon Knight.
We saw him hit that 25. He does indeed take that extra regeneration on the Chemical Rage. So he is a huge issue on the front lines of these fights, Paparazzi.
And he's got another Aghanims now.
Who's he going to?
This one I'd imagine is Lana. He's going toward the Underlord though. So that Atrophy Aura bonus is going to come out here.
All
they
right.
take the fights. So if he's able to survive throughout most of those engagements and they take out a few heroes, that bonus damage can be quite nice.
Yeah, that's certainly going to solve any sort of damage issues that Vici Gaming once had. I mean, as we're seeing now, they don't have those problems.
I've never gotten to witness that Aghanims.
No, never seen this act. So, of course, as you were saying, if anyone's unaware, so grants the bonus damage, half of the bonus damage, but to all your allies. And as we've seen here, it racks up pretty high. So it's sort of in the hundreds sometimes. 100 and such for 11. So having a plus 50 on every hero in the fight, it really is quite something. Mid lane, they get the insta-stun. Miracle needs backup and he needs it straight away. Has the doppelganger down to the low ground. Meteor Hammer won't quite be able to catch him. There's still these fights where both teams a little too scared to enter into the pit. Roshan still stands there for the taking. GH goes for the jump in, Matuma Man there as well. They're focusing this Underlord. Can they kill him in time? He has the Crimson Guard. He has the backup. Fenrir there with the Death Ward as well. BKBs are out for Liquid. Can they kill 11? He's falling solo. Miracle jumps forward with the doppelganger, but they've lost Matuma Man. 11 just walking it off. There goes Slam for GH, but it's not enough. The pipe's out. The damage resistance from Vici is too high. Nobody is dying on Vici Gaming. They're just too damn tanky. 2 buybacks coming out from Liquid. They're going to go for a second round in this one. On the backlines, Miracle bringing the mana at least very long. Vici Gaming started with the stun. Comes through from Paparazzi. He's found the real one. Fisher comes through, stopping the concoction coming out straight away. Paparazzi will still throw it, but the send back there. Miracle's back to base. The creeps, they are doing it. Fortification has to come out from Vici Gaming, and they will start sending members back. Paparazzi's there with the D push.
They're just too damn tanky in these fights, and now with all this atrophy aura built up, they can go into the Roche. This Dragon Knight's hitting for 450 now.
Oh my goodness. The Ags certainly doing big things. Will wear off now though. So Vici Gaming still, despite taking these sort of fights where Liquid are having to spend multiple buybacks just to sort of, I mean, try and stay even, but I say that each fight absolutely going Vici Gaming's way. They're now at a 15k gold lead. It's getting bigger and bigger. GH has to be careful. Look at that fall off from Liquid.
The cores just feel far too tanky. The atrophy aura building in, they don't have that sheer right click. It's only the PL now. Matu just keeps getting controlled.
And another Aghanims. You get an Axe, you get an Axe, you get an Axe. Everybody getting an Aghanims. Well, actually, did he sell it? Because who was giving it to?
Did it die in the courier?
Oh,
I think it died in the courier.
It died in the courier. All right, he'll get it soon. By then, in a couple of minutes. Vici Gaming now, they themselves go in towards the pit. But look at this actually towards mid. Liquid are seeing if they could try and find someone coming out. I don't think they're aware that Vici Gaming are fully committing for this Roche. And Vici Gaming, they're going to fully get away with it. Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher Shards into the hands of Vici Gaming.
It almost feels like Liquid has to kill the Underlord in these fights, but they just can't. He's far too tanky.
And it almost feels as well, we knew that Liquid, they wanted to end this game.
They did.
And to be fair, because we haven't seen an Alchemist in a while, I didn't really know quite what to expect once we got to this sort of 45-minute plus mark. But this, it's bringing back memories. It's bringing back memories to the point where it's sort of like you're playing against a hero that you just can't beat. It seems almost impossible for Liquid. Can they achieve the impossible in this game? It's going to be quite something. They can go for these huge outplays. They can try for this split push, as we've seen. They have been able to shove creep waves countless times up to the barracks of Vici Gaming. But these head-on fights are becoming nigh on impossible.
Yep. The Ursa is just getting kited way too hard in the fights, unable to actually focus fire anybody. And the long, drawn-out engagements for Vici, they've got an Alchemist with like 150 HP per second inside of the fights. And an Underlord who does not die. It's just getting tougher and tougher, it seems, for Liquid.
Nullifier nearly there for Matumba Man.
That could be the key for them to just isolate a target.
Absolutely. I think, you know, as we've seen, they've wanted to go on 11 each and every time. But these three sort of, all these active items that he has, causing so many issues. If they can take the Underlord out of the fight, they can have a chance. But they need that Nullifier on Matumba. And he's still, he's got the gold for it now. And he's picked it up, so there it is. But now they really do have to rely on perfect execution from Liquid. They have to get the right target to target. Otherwise, they won't stand much of a chance at all. Top lane keeps getting forced in. Paparazzi is there with the hold.
Illusion versus illusion battle.
These towers slowly taking harassment from these illusions. Mind Control actually terrified there, goes for the BKB TP out. Worried that the hunt could have been on, and he's sort of stunned from either Paparazzi or Ori. Could have put an end to that sort of push.
Two seconds till the courier respawns, then that Aghanims will be able to get delivered.
And I like this as well. Look at 11.
He's ready for the fights.
He's bringing the mangoes out.
Yeah.
Or did he just sell them? Oh, he sold them.
No, they're in stash.
Oh, no, they're in stash. Okay, he's stashing them up. Those sort of crucial mangoes, as we've seen. In these fights, the illusions from the PL certainly do cause issues. So those mangoes will be the cure for that.
Paparazzi can start even giving moon shards.
Oh, they know mind control's there. He's revealed his position there as he goes for the blast onto the wave. They've got vision on him. Paparazzi gets born in as well. Mind control's surrounded. He does not have buyback. Down
seconds.
for 2 minutes.
Yeah, 50 seconds, no buyback. And instantly Miracle just starts pushing out the waves. We see the lines even drawn by mind control to push out the other two side waves.
One of those games. It's going to be one of those 60-minute games.
I mean, it still just feels harder and harder for Liquid to take the fights. They just feel like they have no damage now versus this Underlord. And now the DK is starting to actually become that heavy right clicker. About to hit level 25. It's pretty much got Mjolnir finished up. We can assume a Moonshard's going to be given at any moment as well. And the 25s all coming out.
They certainly are. All the cores are going to be hitting that for sure this game. And VG moving down the middle lane. How can Liquid put a hold to this? Ori on the front lines. The buyback will now come out. As it does come back off cooldown, as you say, for mind control. Will force VG to hesitate for at least a moment.
They've got their lanes being taken care of, though, from Paparazzi. What's he going to spend on? That's one moon shard. He takes it himself. All right, he's satisfied.
Oh, they try for the stun. It's going to be the illusion. So Miracle fine for now. Back up to the high ground. VG ready to push. Paparazzi hasn't got to the chance, actually, to give out that Aghanims he has. We'll now swap it forward, and as you say, we will imagine that does go the way of Lanham, and you can see Lanham there says, give me that axe. There we have it. So you got the axe on Naga as well now. Mid lane push comes in. Matuma tries to jump onto Ori, but the fish are keeping them the wrong side of one another. They find the concoction onto Matuma in rage. Backs off. Will be able to save himself from most of the damage. Deathwall gets laid down, but they're keeping the distance. Ori just man fighting at the front, trying to finish off these racks. The fortification comes through, the nullifier out on Ori, but there's the song with the Aghanims heal. Look at this health on this DK. Ori just straight back up to 2/3. Now they're jumping again. Miracle trying to commit, but the rift comes through. 11 is ready to take the land. He says we can stick around, but that might have cost them. They've lost the wisdom to NGH. Comes in with the Echo Slam. The Dragon Knight getting so low. Can they kill Ori off? Ori's still alive. They will fight it with a blast. They've taken down the Dragon Knight. Can they get more? Paparazzi looking towards Miracle. Miracle does get stunned up. They're chasing with the Decrep. The life drain from Mind Control gets cancelled immediately by the Concoction. Buyback coming through from Ori. Ori wants to get himself back into this engagement. Concoction being charged up once again by Paparazzi. Turns towards Mind Control, holds him down. Mind Control falling low. They've lost the Ursa for 2 minutes. Buyback from Naga Siren. Miracle will buy back. The creeps down bottom are knocking onto the tier 4 towers, but the Naga Siren, Lanham's there with the defense. The rest of VG Gaming can look to go in and finish off these objectives. They'll get the melee racks mid. No Ursa for 100, no GH Shaker for 50 seconds.
The Aegis timed out mid-fight there on Ori. Otherwise, he could have actually survived a bit longer, but it doesn't matter. They know that the Earthshaker's dead. They know that the Ursa's down for 90 as well. They can go for the second set.
They absolutely can. Look at the damage coming out from these three beefy boys. Look at the stun out. They're trying, but Miracle is caught in the center of it all. The BKB's out from Ori. There's the buyback. Matuma has the buyback now available. The sendback's there from Kuro, but it will cost him his life. Kuro has been self-degrade by no mind control. Buys time for the save. Matuma jumps in the midst of it all, gets the nullifier out to 11, but Ori's back from the Shadow Blade. Turns towards this Matuma. Ursa has the stun, gets the kill. Kuro will buy back, but then now lost. Matuma off the back of a dieback. Miracle goes on to this Alchemist. The life drain's enough. They'll get the Alchemist, but buyback immediately from Paparazzi. The song from Lanham, holding them in place. Mind Control gets the BKB off. Miracle trying to get himself back to base, but the stuns holding down this BL. The 4-staff for Kuro gets him back into safety. The Fisher out onto 2. Kuro dying in the fountain here from Paparazzi. He dives in. They've lost 3, but Miracle is going for the base race. He's onto the tier 4. Surely he can't do it in time though. The speed of VG Gaming is taking this base is surely too much for Liquid. Miracle will find the tier 4s, but the base of Liquid's falling. GH is going in for the plays, but the quick, that smooth Dragon Tail has already stands to the side. They get the game. VG Gaming will be your first grand finalist here at ESL 1 Katowice.
At the end of the fight there, they're hitting the throne and everybody has plus 200 damage because that Aghanim's Underlord. He had plus
my
395 on himself, so everybody else has plus about 190. Oh my god, I can't believe that Vici was able to hold off so long. With their tanky cores making these fights last so long, this Underlord just became absolutely unkillable.
Absolutely, and now winning with this Alchemist, I sort of questioned, I said, what does it offer? And then Paparazzi came and gave me the show of a lifetime. These Aghanims purchases, this sort of build up to this point where VG Gaming's cores, as we said, they just could not die in the fight. The sustain was ridiculous. They were too darn massive. Liquid could barely even damage them at all.
Yeah, they couldn't get the lockdown through the BKBs for a while. Then they started getting some solutions for that. But then it became to a point where the Underlord is just like, I've got Crimson Guard, I've got Atrophiora. PL isn't able to focus fire anybody because of that. Then the Aghanims start to build up, like you said. That Underlord Aghanim is actually giving them so much damage in that last fight.
Absolutely incredible performance from VG Gaming. There's nothing less to sort of say about that. To be able to defeat Liquid not only once on LAN, but twice, and here on the main stage in front of a fantastic audience as they get themselves towards the grand finals. And they do it with an Alchemist. I mean, are we going to see more Alchemists off the back of this, Fog? That's the question.
They've played it in the past, right? Paparazzi has played it before, and they definitely had a strategy for it. But to me, the crucial one for me was definitely the Alchemist, but this Underlord. I mean, 11 on this hero. People were saying that this hero sometimes doesn't have a fit in the game. This time, though, you could see that damage resistance was absurd.
Absolutely. That itemization from 11, absolutely perfect. So many players on here that are really trying their best to fight for that MVP award as Vici Gaming's lineup looking unstoppable. They've made it to the finals as they will knock Liquid down out of this run 2-1 here in the semis.
If I ever have the cojones to have a tattoo, I'm going to have the tattoo too damn tanky somewhere on my body. I'm going to chat to 11 now. I mean, that was some matchup. First off, right at the end there, talk us through it, because that was just a tear-up.
那恭喜你们击败了 Liquid。那最后一盘的时候，你是什么感受的呢？
感受肯定是很激动的呀，毕竟又一次进决赛了。
I feel really, really excited. The last game was amazing, and I feel happy to have been playing in the grand finals again.
Well, he will be. They will be going through to the grand finals, the first of our finalists to play tomorrow here in Katowice. Just ask him what it's like taking on Liquid. They're a team that have had this unbelievable run of top 4 finishes. They've now broken it. How do you approach taking on Liquid?
那你觉得对阵 Liquid 这个队伍，反正毕竟他们也是 TI7 的冠军，那你觉得对阵他们，你是有什么特别的准备或感受吗？
我没有什么特别的感觉，只是确实李逵作为 TI7 冠军一直到现在，状态实力都很强，很想战胜他们，战胜他们来证明自己。
I don't want to say that I feel anything special, but of course, being the TI7 champions, you feel a bit of respect for them, and they have been very consistent so far, so I feel excited.
Okay, final question here, and that is, who does he think they'll be playing tomorrow in the grand final?
那你预料明天会对阵哪一队伍呢？
我觉得。 不出太大的意外的话，应该是 VP 战队吧。
I think it's VP.
He thinks it's going to be VP. Thank you, 11. Bonnie, thank you so much. How do I say GG in Mandarin?
GG.
Oh, GG. Congratulations. Fabulous win there. They go through to the grand final. They take out Liquid as well, which means we just got one more matchup today. That is our second semi-finalist to find out who are playing Vici Gaming. We'll get into that. We'll look back at this game and look forward to the next after this short break.
Just throw lances on the Naga to burn the mana down so they can't do the disengage with the Song of the Siren.
And now they'll look straight towards the Alchemist. They've got the magical damage. Echo Slam comes in for GH, but Paparazzi's still alive. The pipe buying him time to turn. Turns, looks towards Matuma Man. They've taken down the Ursa once. The root's out onto GH Maledix as well. Miracle chasing down Ori in the sidelines, but the Song comes through. Lanham holding back the side of Liquid, giving VG chance to disengage, get themselves out of there after taking the Aegis out. But Matuma Man wants the fight still going. GH finds the 2-man push for a Fisher. They've got the slow onto Ori, but they turn. Matuma Man stuck underneath the tower.
I want to get in there.
Wow, I'm not dead.
You dead? Yeah, I'm dead.
Never, dude!
Dude, look at that macro pyre, dude. Oh my god.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Life is all about following a few simple rules. Dress proper. Get a real job. Start a family. Be humble. Time to grow up.
Ultimately, this trip could bring my career to the next level.
I'm not very worried about losing. I'm worried about missed opportunities.
I just scream and say yes twice. Yes! Yes!
You try your best, you feel good about yourself.
So what's really going to separate them is decision making and strategizing.
In 2045, there's nowhere left to go. Nowhere except the Oasis. It's a whole virtual universe where the limits of reality are your own imagination.
We see nothing less than a war for control of the future.
Are you willing to fight?
Help us save the Oasis.
ESL 1 Katowice is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, Alienware, PaySafeCard, Logitech G, and Hacks.
Vodafone presents the post-match.
Welcome back to ESL 1 Katowice, and then there were three. That's right, Vici Gaming have made their fourth final of the DPC season. In the previous three finals, they've lost to Newbie, they've lost to Secret, and they've lost to Liquid. Good news for them, they won't be playing any of those three in the grand final as we're down to just the last three. We'll recap that match and also look forward ahead to the last semi-final of the night. But first, let's catch up with our panel members on a terrific semi-final one between two fantastic teams. Gents, just to start with, overall the series, Kevin, that's a great series. It's a great advert for Dota, isn't it?
Yes, very good series. Very close games all throughout. Lots of different picks, lots of different heroes, some surprises, and some really close matches.
Yeah, that had a little bit of everything. That last game, though, Will, ooh, that was tough.
Yes.
Tough to watch as well, wasn't it, in places?
I mean, that match for a really long time, it was quite back and forth, but near the end, you could kind of see the direction that it was slowly starting to head towards. Like that bottom push, yes, you got a set of racks, but in Dota, especially in this kind of meta, it feels as though you have to take the fight eventually. And I think Vici completely understood that, and so they didn't get panicked when they got racks.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I wrote down, Cap, it just became impossible to kill any of the Vici players towards it. Liquid got 3 kills in the last 25 minutes of that game, but 20 in the first 30.
Sustain is the name of the game right now. It seems like so many tank lineups are actually so powerful. It was their answer to the Phantom Lancer in many ways, just being able to tank up as much as possible. I think that Vici Gaming played really well around each other with itemization as well. There were a couple times where there were some really clutch Glimmer Caves coming out.
Yeah, all the heroes just had so much armor. Between Dragonite, he never really was that farmed. Alchemist was extremely farmed, but they keep all the heroes alive. They continue to kite. I wasn't really sold on the Alchemist build for a while, to be honest. I was criticizing it for a while, but by the end of the game, it made a lot of sense. You get the really low cooldown stun. He's constantly channeling and throwing stuns that have the potential to do tons of damage. He doesn't die, and basically just buys his team time for the BKBs of their opponents to be out, and at that point, nobody's going to die.
Yeah, Underlord was tough to kill, Elk was tough to kill. I mean, in the end, did it feel inevitable to you that Vici would win? I know it was very close at the end with that little base race going, but it kind of felt like Vici were going to win that eventually, didn't it?
Yes, it did. I think the last like 15 or 20 minutes when Elk was just running around the team fight doing whatever he wanted, and we saw like 3 or 4 monster Echo Slams that really didn't do that much.
Yeah.
It felt like that was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, it was. And close at the end. I think props to Miracle. He's had a very good series, obviously. He's not going to feature in your MVP because he hasn't made the grand final because you're just horrible about that. But he's had a brilliant series in here and nearly at the end, took it all on his own.
Yeah, I think he understood. He made the correct decision in that. Maybe it gives you like a 1% play or something like that if GH can somehow catch something Miracle. But I think it was pretty impossible at that point. The Alk had BKB up. He was going to out DPS the PL, and that was just a rough situation to be in. But I mean, props to him. He kept that game alive for quite some time.
Yeah,
he had some really nice dodges.
Kept up with the Elk on the farm as well, which is not easy, is it?
Yeah, but he just, at the end, like, his team just couldn't kill anybody. You saw in the clips right there, like, the Earthshaker goes in, Young 11 has, like, 10 health left.
Yeah.
He Echo Slams. It feels like it does absolutely nothing at that point. Probably my MVP right now.
It was right after he picked up the 30 HP regen talent at level 20 as well, and you could actually see that coming into play as he just was actually out regenning the bit of damage that was coming out. I actually want to go back what Kevin was talking about, which was like for the last 20 minutes, it felt like the game was kind of secured. For me, it was like at 15 minutes in, I thought Liquid had the game. I thought they were definitely going to be able to close this out, and they got that fight up there in the top lane. I actually think that, despite it was a really long time ago, I think that was actually the most critical. Yeah, I think it was probably the most critical engagement. It was where Liquid finally like kind of lost control of the game because they went into an engagement. They weren't quite able to kill a Dragonite. Song of Siren goes out, and they actually decide to re-engage. And the re-engagement ends up losing them badly. That whole entire fight, and then they just start losing control from there.
Yeah, they tried that several times. I think it was three two very big fights, one smaller fight in trying to push that high ground. They just couldn't do it, could they?
No, it's Vici Gaming definitely improved. I mean, that's an old adage that Chinese teams very good at being able to defend high ground. Vici Gaming certainly showed that that is still in force.
They did. Through the grand final, it's the 4th time. Will, you made a point earlier on this week that this is the kind of team that can get to finals, but they just haven't shown that extra bit of quality to win them. Can they do it this time around?
I think in the past I was a little bit surprised when they'd make it to finals. Like, I'd be like, really, Vici made it? But I think this time, regardless of what team gets through, I think Vici is the favorite. And I think that's the first time.
They've played the best Dota at this tournament so far.
I think that's the first time that I've thought this way, because normally when they go into a finals, I think they're a significant underdog. I feel as though the team that they're up against is just slightly better. But this time around, I think definitively in this tournament, they've had one of the hardest roads. They had to play Liquid once, which is a tall task.
Twice.
Yeah, now they've had to play them twice.
VP.
I meant once in the group stage, once here, and then they had to play VP. That is not an easy group for anybody to go through. I think that they've well proved that they deserve the position that they're in right now.
Okay, I think just one more question for them as to whether they can win the final. Kevin, I want to ask you, or actually I want to ask you all about it. What's it like for the background staff? What's it like for the coach? What's it like for the manager when you're with a team on both sides of that fence?
What do you mean both sides?
Well, in terms of the coaches and managers of Liquid and the coaches and managers of VG, what are they all going through right now? Because it's not just the players, is it?
I mean, it's really tough to be sitting and watching the game with your team and not being able to say anything. Even if maybe it might seem like a good thing, sometimes there can be small moments where giving them words of encouragement or saying, oh, X hero is building X item, it'd be really smart if you build X thing. Yeah, like it's very stressful, very stressful to sit and watch.
Yeah, whether you're winning or losing.
Yeah, I'm sure if the game is close at all, yeah absolutely.
And Will, you've coached, obviously, you've been with Liquid. What will they be going through now? What will their coaching team and the managers be saying to them?
I think right now they're going to take some time to just, everybody will go their own way for a second, reassess. I know Curl probably wants to talk about the game like right now, and he's going to force his team to.
I saw him talking.
Yes.
To Miracle. Straight up, they were like already talking about.
Yeah, that's always like the rough part, because Curl wants to like objectively just look at the game as fast as possible, like what emotions are running through
your head. Fresh.
Exactly, and but I know like some of the guys will take it harder than others. I think he's been there. Losses, I mean, it's common for every Dota player, right? But I mean, being a coach in that position like feels the worst because you can't do anything. You see your guys struggling, and you have no influence at that point. Like, the game is played. What can you do?
The same thing that whenever I've like seen Blitz or Bulba in that position, I get the feeling of powerlessness, where you just like you can't really do anything to help at that point.
Yeah, it's a rough road, isn't it? Thank you very much, gents, and thank you very much for all of the words of wisdom throughout that last series. We're going to move on, and we're headed to a break right now, just to reset things here in the Spodek Arena, allow the players time to set up for semi-final number 2, which is a really good semi-final. Virtus Pro versus Fnatic. But before we get there, why don't we get the words of wisdom from the people that know what it's like to be a manager of a Dota 2 professional team.
My name is Jaisal Parekh. I'm from Optic Gaming. My gamer tag is Spacel. I take care of a lot of different teams at Optic Gaming. We try to do a lot of scrims together with all 5 of our players. That's obviously the best way to practice and make sure there's good synergy and chemistry within our team. We have guys who take care of all of our nutrition, exercise, mental stability, just to make sure our players are all staying sharp and focused. Dota's life, right? All of our guys just want to play Dota and they want to perform well. My passion's always been in managing sports teams and esports teams, and now I'm living the dream, so I'm very, very blessed to do what I'm doing right now.
My name is Michi. I am Virtus Pro team manager. I've been to many companies throughout my life, but this team is amazing that there are no conflicts in it. Each player is a really strong personality, but I don't know how the chemistry between them is magical. I feel like, I don't know, not a father, maybe elder brother sometimes, or mother in some cases. So they can definitely trust me. My whole life is dedicated to this job. This is my dream job, and I like it. And I like this is my way of life, like lifestyle.
My name is Matthew Bailey. Most people know me as Savogmat. I'm the operations director for Team Secret. When I look at my team, definitely there's a strong personal connection there. You're spending more time with them than your family, essentially. So I do see them as a second family, and especially someone like Mid1, one of the younger players on the team who needs, guidance throughout his life. I feel like I'm there to help and make him comfortable on the team. When we look at conflicts within the team, I wouldn't call them conflicts. It's just more of discussions of opinions, and the captain has the authority to lead the players in the right direction, basically, and make the final decision. I love my job. I mean, I don't know why I couldn't, because I get to travel the world. I work on the game that I love and have followed for years and years. I think anyone in my position would be stupid not to love it.
I want to get in there.
Wow, I'm not dead.
Are you dead? Yeah, I'm dead.
Never, dude!
Dude, look at that macro pyre, dude. Oh my god.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Life is all about following a few simple rules. Get married. Move to the suburbs. Start a family. Be humble. Time to grow up.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
ESL 1 Katowice is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, Alienware, PaySafeCard, Logitech G, and Hacks.
Welcome back to ESL 1 from Katowice 2018, and look at the time. We have had two stonking 3-game series, which means what this is value for money, because we still have one more possible stonking 3-game series to go, because we've had a quarter, we've had one of our semis, and we're just coming on to our second semi-final. Remember, one of these teams will go through to play tomorrow against BO3 Gaming for that trophy down there, the ESL 1 trophy. And it's also worth pointing out, this is the first major ever to happen for Dota 2 in Poland. So it's a real moment, which brings us to our second semi-final today. Let's get it on. The first team to come out, they have looked good. They've had a roster change, then another roster change, playing well above what people expected. So let's see what they can do now in the semi. Please welcome to the stage here in the Spodek, that is Fnatic. So they need to take on a team, and this being Dota, this is not just a test of mind, not just a test of talent, but a test of stamina as well, because this will be the second time they have played today. They won through the quarterfinals to get this spot in the semis. They have got an eye on the finals as well. So please welcome your second team, and that is Virtus Pro. All right then, our two teams are on the stage, which means it's time to get this second semi-final underway. It's going to be great. Fnatic taking on Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro looking like they are back to the team we know they can be. So let's get this second semi-final on, and to that, we hand over to Paul, Red-Eye Challenger. All yours, buddy.
Thank you very much, OJ. Yes, we are back here once more at the panel with a slight change at the panel. We welcome back Nahaz to join us for this second semi-final. It's going to be a terrific battle between two teams who have arrived at this semi-final and have very different routes. And I guess, Alan, we'll start with you. You have to start with Fnatic. There's no one else to talk about in this second semi-final because of their extraordinary victory over Secret in the group stages.
Yeah, arguably the biggest surprise of the tournament. I think a lot of us had looked at Fnatic as a team that was maybe knocking on the door, but didn't expect them to kick it down. And they've done that in this tournament. Came through the group stage looking very good. They dropped a game early, but then that dramatic 2-1 game over Secret. And I think it's helped Fnatic. They do have a little bit of an unusual hero pool. They can play a number of styles. They're a difficult team to prepare for.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Kevin, how have you been impressed by Fnatic? Hard not to be, I know, because they've made their way through. But have they had all the qualities that you'd expect of a team to come this far?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I think they were other than EG, they were maybe one of the other teams that really did super aggressive dual off lanes. Their early mid game pressure was really impressive. Games 1 and 3 against Secret. I just think they need to hit consistency at a huge level because EG was doing that and VP beat them. and now they've got to take out VP as well. That's
Yeah,
gonna be tough.
they have. And Cap, when you look back through the DPC, they've had 7 games against Virtus.pro. They've only won 2 of those 7. Not a great record against this team, albeit slightly different lineups now. Of course, they've both had a change since the new year. They come into this game, do they care about records? Do they care about what they did last time against this team? Do they just not focus on what they've been doing really well in this tournament?
I don't think so, but that being said, I was sitting down and really thinking about what it is that makes Fnatic Fnatic and how it's going to match up against Virtus.pro. And I do think Fnatic are inherently a little bit of a greedy team with the combination of DJ, Universe, as well as Abed. I think you have 2 cores and 1 support who like to be able to play a little bit greedier. They're able to do otherwise. Like Abed can definitely play a more aggressive style. We saw him play a Dragon Knight to Eternal Envy's Terrorblade, for example. But I feel like naturally that's where those players want to be. And so it's really up to Eternal Envy and Pylai Dai, that duo, to be able to create all the space. Virtus.pro run a fast game. And I am a bit concerned about whether or not Fnatic's going to be able to still keep that pace, especially with the way that Virtus.pro looked in both Game 1 and Game 3 against that Evil Genius.
This must be the first time ever anyone said, can an SEA team keep up?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why you've got an NA player in your off lane, you've got an NA player in your safe lane. It's a little different.
It is a little different.
I love that point, though, that you made, Cap, because I think that's really important. I had the same concern. I was actually looking at some numbers between the series. Since Universe joined, Fnatic is actually 15-5 in games that end before 35 minutes. They're only 18-15 afterwards. You're right. They do tend to pick these greedy lineups, but because you never quite know who the farm's going to go on, if it's a Terrorblade pick, it's going to be Envy, right? If otherwise, it's probably going to be Abed. They're able to spread that farm pretty well, and when they get that advantage, they are able to end the game.
I feel like their pick diversity is really what helps them out quite a bit to be able to secure these strategies a bit more. I remember watching some of the Dream League games. I thought their draft was pretty interesting. My favorite draft so far of this whole entire tournament was their Invoker Beastmaster that they ran. I thought that was such a cool way to be able to match up against a Tinker.
The multi-Shadow Blades was awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic to watch. Let's turn our attention to Virtus.pro, Kevin. I guess the first question is they've had to play two matches in the same day. Some teams prefer that. I think if you've given EG the opportunity to play again the other day, they'd probably have taken it, wouldn't they, on the back of the 2 games they played? So how do you think it affects Virtus.pro?
Well, they had a very long break, basically. There was that was a really long series, where it's now past 8:30 p.m. right now, so they've had tons of time to review replays. They've had tons of time to relax, maybe sit back. I feel like they had so much time that this is just going to be another game for them.
Right. You don't think the fatigue will set in at all?
I don't think so. I mean, it's been like 4 hours. Yeah. It should be fine.
I know it's...
Right?
Well, you think so, but it affects people differently, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We've seen some teams play a game in the morning, come back in the afternoon, and not look the same, not look sharp.
I would say the only thing that I'm maybe worried about is that it's later in the day, and that first series was so long ago that perhaps in some way that affects some of them. Or maybe they made bad food decisions and they ate a lot of candy in the last couple hours.
Maybe.
I don't know like that.
Maybe.
I don't know how you guys feel about it. You know, if Lil's listening, maybe he just, puts his fingers in his ears. But I actually think Roger's been the MVP of Virtus.pro at this tournament. I think he's having fantastic performance. There was a hiccup in game number 2 where he used a Song of Siren and they didn't get anything out of it. As a result, they gave up Roche. Really bad fight ensues. But that's, I feel like, the only mistake that I've seen Roger. Otherwise, it's just been all big plays.
Yeah, and the reason it stood out is because we haven't seen any others.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting. Alan, the way that Virtus.pro play, you've all mentioned it already, kind of plays nicely for them in this particular game, especially against a team like Fnatic. They'll want them to run at them, won't they?
Absolutely. That's what I like about this matchup in general. I think it's going to be strength versus strength, right? When you look at, we mentioned the variety for Fnatic. They picked 14 different heroes in 3 games against Secret. VP has actually picked 35 different heroes in the tournament. That's the most of any team in 10 games. I think both of these teams are not afraid to mix it up in the draft. Fnatic aren't afraid to do things like pick Axe into Terrorblade, like make Ember Spirit a hero, which pretty much no other team does. VP are not afraid. They will mix it up in the draft with anybody.
Hey, Paul, they also picked Bristleback a while back.
Yeah.
So,
oh, God.
I did call it the other day as well. We were looking through the unpicked heroes and we were kind of like,
they lost that game.
I know, it doesn't matter though. The fact is they played it. No, they do play it.
When I gave up on Bristleback was when I saw it a couple weeks ago. I saw a Bristleback run against a Brood, which is supposed to be like a Brood counter, and it looked awful.
It did, yeah. I think we may have watched the same game. Yeah, just while we're on the subject of that, I'm waiting for the draft. Currently, we're looking at 21 different heroes that haven't been picked or banned.
You want to give us the ones that you think are interesting?
We kind of went through them a little bit. There's a Bloodseeker in there, there's a Bristle, there's a Clinks. Dark Willow's never getting picked. Dazzle, maybe. Huskar, that could be a potential one. Magnus, Necro.
I still think
Ogre.
the Shadow Demon
No techies.
is the most likely.
The Shadow Demon is still in here. That's probably a good bet. Ogre, Pangolier.
Ogre, solo Ogre, man.
Okay, I know I said that to him. He laughed at me. PA,
What? No,
Phoenix.
what? Yeah, you're just creating things on the spot now, Paul. Come on.
Pudge, Ricky, SD, Silencer, Slardar, which has a good opportunity. There's a few Slardar players left in the tournament. Techies, obviously not. Treant, Venom, and Wind Ranger, which obviously someone's going to pick as a 5 in this game.
I think Phoenix is an okay hero right now.
Just to tilt out
and real quick side note, I see a lot of Treant Protectors being run in NA right now. There's some experimenting with that. I have no idea if the hero is actually good or not, but
trouble is
really annoying.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there's no NA teams left.
Yeah, I know. Classic NA.
First the Windrunner, then that.
I've got to give it to you boys. I've been far too easy on an NA all NA panel this weekend. Anyway, we're going to get into the draft. First couple of bans. No real surprises. None.
I think the Enchantress ban in the first set is a little interesting. I do feel like VP is going to be able to, on average, outlane most other teams. I think EGU is extremely skilled, and they still outplayed them a few times pretty consistently, I feel. So I think Fnatic's got to be really careful about these aggro duel lanes.
Yeah, really agree with all the bans so far, especially the gyro. Again, when you're Fnatic going and watching these replays, which you've now had time to do, and you're seeing how VP, they ended up losing the game, but how well their gyrocopter was looking in the series that was off stream, as well as the Razor and the Naga. VP are pretty much, they have first pick Naga in 4 out of their 10 drafts here, and when they're second pick, they almost always ban it.
Tiny and Caudal bans, so first pick goes to Fnatic. Elder Titan, maybe. It's kind of a iffy opener. But there is still TB in the pool, so.
They will open the Clock, Sand King, sometimes even the Chen.
I don't know what that Sand King was. I remember seeing that. I was like, or excuse me, Clockwork. I like Beastmaster a lot more. That is a good opening for me because I feel like it can match up against the Terrorblade, which is still on the pool. I think that's one of the problematic heroes right now.
It was their hero of the previous sets as well. Like, Universe goes off lane, he does things similar to Smail, does a really good job, and then he gets a Shadow Blade and tries to set tempo.
So the big reason I mentioned the Chen is because Chen is likely going to be taken by VP if you leave it in the pool. Universe, there you go, nice call, Cap. Universe now has 5 of the 7 fastest times on Shadowblade on a professional Beastmaster on record. We saw that game the other night, of course, where they ran the dual Shadowblade Beastmaster Venge to set up the stun strikes for Invoker. Not going to complain if we see that again. But again, you remember also in the VP EG series, the key to all 3 games was really which team was able to pressure the enemy safe lane. And I think that the Beastmaster, both teams really set up very well to be able to do that as the draft goes on.
Especially with a Bane pick.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not just the pressure, but which team then was able to sustain the pressure. And that was really the key for VP in Game 1 against EG. They had this Bane down there. EG were unwilling to bring the Rubik from the top lane. Bane is going to crush a dual lane.
So wait, you think, in this setup here, you think the Bane's going to match? He's going to have his core in the safe lane, and they're going to go against the Sand King Chen?
I think so. I think it leaves you open because I think what you do as the draft goes on is you say, okay, if I have an opportunity, I pick a really strong aggro dual lane partner for the Beastmaster. If I have the opportunity and I know I can bring that pressure, I can pick the Terrorblade third and pair that with the Bane in the safe lane. That combination looks so good this morning for VP, and even in the ideal case, you get to do both.
Okay. I was thinking maybe they're going to utilize this Bane. Like, maybe they're just going to get a really self-sufficient hero, like Lone Druid, Lifestealer, like Juggernaut or something like that, to deal with that aggro, and then maybe the Bane feels a little bit more comfortable harassing mid to start off the laning phase or something, because for me, I felt like Witch Doctor, maybe not in the laning phase sense, but even Rubik is decent matchup against these two. For me, Bane doesn't stand out specifically against Chen's aggression, besides just being a lane dominator outside of the Chen creeps. So...
your point is well taken. I think that Bane is not nearly as well suited to counter the Chen Sand King combination as it is X-Wisp, as we saw this morning, for example. But I still think it gives you just that stability. And I'm leaning toward now that Fnatic show the Terrorblade ban themselves fourth, I'm leaning toward this mode where we end up with Envy on a more tempo-oriented carry, and it's Abed on the farm-intensive hero.
I found those bans from Beefy very interesting. Tinker and Weaver.
So that Weaver is actually, it's weird. Weaver is actually another of those heroes like the Axe that's a pick for Fnatic and basically nobody else. They run it on Envy, and what I really like about their Weaver is that it can run at very different speeds. They played it in very fast games, they played it in more farming games.
And that's a hero that, when pressured by a Sand King who's shoving down your lane and goes for a tower dive and Shen's wrapping around behind, like Weaver's good.
Yeah.
He goes invis. Max movement speed.
It's a really good point.
I feel like that is going to be a hero that is better adept at being able to deal with that, because I still think they're going to go for a 4 position that goes with the Beastmaster, and they're going to try and match. You know, like, hey, you're going to aggro dual lane into us, we're going to do the same.
And so I just love both of the teams covering the bases here, right? Because this now reveals that this is going to be a core Sand King, more than likely. And Witch Doctor sort of also functions as that lane stabilizer, as we were talking about with the Bane.
I wouldn't even say it's a lane stabilizer. That's a lane winner right there.
Okay, fair
Witch
enough.
Doctor's been really effective against aggro dual lanes. It's like one of the few heroes that can actually threaten Beastmaster easily. You know, the tanky heroes.
Yeah. Oh, no, and as we've been talking about, like, that's been the model of this tournament, that you pick like a DK here, and he can go mid, okay, Earthshaker's fine. That's going to be your second support in this situation. But you pick like a very tanky core for Envy, and all of a sudden he gets Maledict thrown on him, and he feels like he can actually die.
Earthshaker's kind of interesting. Kind of okay at slowing down pushes. Can definitely offset some lane pressure, interrupt some death wards, things like that. Transitions to a really good late game hero. Chain stunning, initiating team fights, making the late game easy, basically. So they'll definitely have that against a Chen. And Witch Doctor also falls off too if you don't have a nice Alchemist to give you free ags.
I think the Death Prophet is pretty decent for VP here.
I was thinking about Death Prophet and Viper.
Yeah, Viper's another good one.
I'd be a little bit concerned about Death Prophet, though. I feel like the burst damage is definitely there from the first 3 picks from Fnatic, with the Earthshaker being a threat, and then the single target focus of Beastmaster is quite strong as well. And you'd also be dealing with split push. But that's the thing is that I really like about the Chen Sand King, is that it deals with split push from Beastmaster really well.
And they will go ahead and take the DP. And now Fnatic.
There's not too many heroes that will beat out the Beastmaster, but I believe one of them does okay is Lifestealer. Another one that actually beats it is Ursa.
What about just DK, just because he's super tanky against the physical damage? He can stand an extra.
Yeah, DK just survives through it. Yeah.
He's not good against Spirit Siphon, though. Like, as a whole, I don't think he matches up great.
Okay. The Venge. All right, so this is their other side. This is, and again, oh God, is this a...
That's a
I don't even want to say it. I don't want to jinx it. But this is the same, basically the same set that they ran the other night.
It's a great hero against DP. I was thinking something physical damage with minus armor because of the Beastmaster thing, and Venge works perfect for that. It's physical damage. She can swap DP out of position and very likely burst her down rapidly.
Please don't ban it. Please don't ban it.
And Envy can actually get stuff done in the meantime. By the time he gets a couple levels. It's definitely a little bit more active, not as good late game as something like a Juggernaut, but definitely can get a lot done. What do you worry about the ban?
Oh, I just don't want them to ban us. Oh, damn it!
Yeah. I was feeling you, Paul. Hey, Paul was feeling you as well, actually.
Oh, I'm so devastated.
Shout out.
I so wanted to see that Tricore again. That was just so exciting to watch the other night.
This other one, though? This other one, Paul? Not so much that other one.
No? Okay, okay.
He was pointing out the Broodmother, but there's an Earthshaker and a Beastmaster.
Yeah, that's super risky. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. Like Ramsey's, he's so aggressive in lane with that hero that he can get away with a lot of that stuff. But yeah, it's a really bad matchup here.
And do you know the other thing is, of the 4 matches that they played against Fnatic, their last 4, 2 of them have been won using the Brood.
Yeah. Oh God.
Wouldn't it doesn't surprise me if they do it again here.
Oh yeah, that would, and there you go, Paul.
Yeah, just in
thinking
case.
about it.
Just in case. Like, let's not do that again.
All right, so I want to see I want to see a vintage Abed hero. I'm not sure. SF's good. Physical burst is good with the TA, for example. Ember doesn't, I think, fit as well. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
damage
that's
amplifiers.
another one that they've been doing as well.
Yeah. That's my favorite kind of Medusa lineups when you have damage amplifiers. You've got both Vengeful Spirit and Beastmaster to bring your Dusa online a bit faster.
It's like way faster, plus Wave of Terror, and VP's damage right now is mostly AoE. I feel like Dusa will be able to stay alive fairly easily. Maledict doesn't work great against her because her HP doesn't drop fast enough. It's a really good pick here, and allows them to basically farm for the late game if their early roam stuff doesn't work out great.
Is that that's a PL ban on the side of Fnatic? Okay, so PL is out of the pool, so we have to think about it. I mean, Anti-Mage is not a hero, but
definitely not against Beastmaster.
Yeah,
it's not too fun.
All the like the heroes that would be able to do well against Beastmaster we were talking about earlier can't match up against the Dusa.
Exactly.
So this kills a lot.
Okay.
So they're going to do the OD instead.
Yeah, that's a no-one OD.
And I think they do the safe lane Death Prophet against the Beastmaster. OD against the Dusa mid.
Boy. This is a really tough one because I like this Fnatic draft a lot, but the level of play that VP showed against EG this morning, I think, is the highest that we've seen in the tournament bar VG Gaming.
I want to see the draft again, but all I can think of right now is it's OD versus Dusa, so I know I'm just going to go for Virtus Pro here.
Okay. Kevin?
I think I'll pick Virtus Pro as well. I think they can stabilize the lanes. I'm a little worried for DP, but I think they can take the win.
OD's big time favorite in that matchup? OD's big time favorite?
I mean, it's just the fact that it's one of the better heroes at being able to bring down a Dusa. I hear a Virtus Pro chant starting up here.
All right, you know what? I hate to make it a panel curse, but I think I agree with you guys. Let's go 3-0 VP.
All right, okay. We're going 3-0 Virtus Pro to go along with the crowd, which are already starting to chant here in the Spodek Arena. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your second semi-final, and let's find out who takes first blood between Fnatic and Virtus Pro.
It's a very good question. Of course, this crowd, they're no strangers to Virtus Pro playing on the main stage. Of course, this is a bit of a different one. This one's not it's not a Polish team, it's a Russian team. But still, the brand VP, nice and strong. How do you feel about their draft? Do you feel it's nice and strong as well, Blitz?
I did until they all called that it was Virtus Pro.
So you're not actually swayed by the fact, like, oh yeah, you know, it's the OD versus the Dusa, like, that looks good for Virtus Pro. It's the fact that the 3 panelists actually said that that is victory.
Yeah, plus, like, when the chips are stacked against Envy, he levels up. He takes to another form.
Yeah, but that means he has to lose game 1, right? You got to lose game 1 to then win game 2.
Even the haters, like, they'll propel him to the next level. It works on, like, multiple levels. Don't worry about it.
Like, it's the secret juice of Envy when he drinks at night before he goes to bed. Before he starts a game. How do you actually find the rest of the draft? So if we actually ignore the OD and the Dusa, we just say there's gonna be a straight up matchup. Do you actually kind of like the way VP approached the draft, where we now see like this 3-position SK, the Chen, the Witch Doctor working together? Like, is this gonna give a lot of strength to the rotations in the lanes from Virtus Pro?
Yeah, I mean, I think SK Chen, just to quick summarize if the panel didn't already, it's that the SK will almost always shove in the wave, and it'll allow the Chen to just swarm you completely.
I love how we fake the horn at the start for VP versus Fnatic. Our full best-of-3 semi-final matchup. The winner will face up against the freshly positioned in Grand Final VG Gaming. The loser will play the third-place match tomorrow against Team Liquid. Both games should be absolutely amazing no matter which team wins or loses this series. So you should watch that Dota no matter what. So laning-wise, it looks like Eternal Envy is Mr. Vengeful Spirit with the Wraith Band to begin with. He'll be going towards the offlane, working with the Bane. Probably one of the best interfering heroes, support heroes so far to enable this dual lane meta we seem to be in. They'll be going up against a Witch Doctor as well as a Death Prophet. That leaves our mid lane with no one OD versus Arbed's Dusa. And then finally up on the top, it's going to be Roger's Chen working with Pasha's SK, at least at the beginning, against Universe's Beastmaster safe lane with DJ supporting in that ES role. And they're already looking to try and contest off that first rune. DJ does have the fissure. I don't know if he really wants to burn the mana for it, but when Pasha's able to get the double Burrow Strike and take the bounty rune, he'll give it a crack and walk away with it. Unless Fissure block, Pasha, 1 second till Burrow strikes off cooldown. He needs some time and he's got it. Up to the cliff, starts even his TP back to the tower. The Axis will cancel the Salve, but Pasha is back to relative safety at the tier 1.
Yeah, but this is not the position he wants to be in. I think he actually just goes back, and that's exactly what he's going to do. And
that can't be good though. You just burned your TP to get to the tier 1 tower.
Oh, absolutely not. That is a rough start indeed.
I suppose now it's going to be what, the 3 position Chen Milk Stream comes true.
For the time being, as
actually they move some lanes.
Yeah.
So Ramses has come up to the top lane to work with Roger, and they're going to push SK down to the bot lane.
I think they realize that it's very unrealistic for this Sand King to do too much in this matchup. Like, he's just going to get harassed out pretty hard. As now DJ just trading hits with the Chen early on, who Roger already having the Blightstone. It's going to be hard for him to trade. He's looking for a creep right now. I'd really like for him to put the early pressure on this mid lane, though. I think that both superstars in their own right, and Abed is the man to slow down in this game.
Yeah, if they can keep that Deuce from getting big.
Oh, at bottom.
And keep the OD up. Yeah, bottom lane, Eternal Envy being initiated on again. Burrow Striker, Maledict. That should be enough to pop him as he's low. The stick charges. It won't be enough to survive. Solo spilling the first blood.
A lot of teams banned this 5-position Witch Doctor from VP. And you already start to see why. He's very aggressive on this hero. With that point up in Maledict, Envy already suffering, but like we talked about, not the real carry in this game.
Yeah, you never really know. That's what the panel was talking about before the draft even began. You just don't know where Fnatic is going to put the real farm, because they can always switch it up. It's very dynamic in the lanes. To go off something else you said, the fact they banned the Witch Doctor a lot. We had the Disruptor from Solo earlier today, and this is Virtus Pro, the team that will play every single hero in the book. Such a huge depth of pool they have available.
Right now, Roger just harassing up as...
Yeah, Spirit Siphon, Universe, no, can't reach him.
It's a good amount of harass though, and in this mid lane.
Envy's in trouble again on bottom. Heavy Malediction. Don't know if Pylite Eye can really help him here at all. In fact, he cannot. Enfeebled up Solar to try and remove that damage is the only ability the Pylite Eye has on this Bane so far.
Very decent early start right now for VP as they're already off to a 1k gold lead. And at bottom lane, Solo just continues to throw out the early point of Maledict that he has, opting to even grab the second level. And be gonna TP down here.
They found Universe up on the top lane. The fissure block from DJ will stop the chase from going on. Roger is just all over him. Just Penitence hits him with the Hadouken Blast, and then if they can get the Spirit Siphon on, the only thing that will help him is DJ being there.
Yeah, but he doesn't really want to be in this position. I think in an ideal world, he's helping out Abed in this mid lane, as Envy normally sent to suffer a little bit. But Abed doing just fine by himself right now. No one does have a salve available, but he is completely out of mana.
Yeah, he's been burning a hell of a lot, but that's why he's gone 0-2-2. Just Astral Imprisonment, secure the CS for now. DJ again. Now he's the one that's actually under attack, while Envy on the bottom lane's under attack. Just multiple prongs. It's going to put our weary observer to the test.
Envy right now has to be more careful in this lane. They've represented time and time again that they can kill him with this combo. Is Solo already up to level 4 on this 5-position Witch Doctor.
He wants to go again on Pylite Eye. No point committing the Paralyzing Cast when there's nothing to really bounce it out to. And no real support around either, so Pylite Eye, one more tick will hurt a little bit more, but Solo, man, they're just going at it. The gloves come off. Solo has very little damage, however. Like, he's hitting for 36 damage thanks to the Enfeeble, so he goes again for the Maledict, requiring some space to make this work.
Pi starting to drop a little bit low. He was trying to save that cask, but he's going to run into a DD rune right here in Solo. He's got to be careful about this.
Yeah, Solo won't force the issue any further than that. Still waiting to see Roger. Panel flagging him as one of the critical members, especially Cap highlighting just how fantastic he has now performed at this tournament.
I think this is a really good timing right now to go for the gank, but if you notice this ward that Fnatic have very smartly placed, very astute by them, as they know that the rotation isn't going to really go to this top lane, Toby. It's going to head towards mid, as Solo, he's making the wraparound as well.
He's going to use the Centaur to tank up the creep, tank up the tower as they go in after Arbed. Arbed not really positioning himself perfectly to escape from this, gets clamped. Centaur Stomp will connect. DJ Fissure needs to buy space with a double stun. Solo so low. Arbed needs one more attack. The smoke, he was in range, so the smoke broke instantly. Solo won't survive. Pilot Eye is looking for more, but he won't get it. And then no one does take out Arbed. That high level 3 points up in the Astral Imprisonment was enough damage to pop the Medusa.
I think that was meant to be a bait. They had full vision of at least a Chen coming in, but they didn't quite expect Solo to make that rotation down as they have no ward. And Fnatic, they've got to be a little bit more careful about this.
Envy's being attacked once more. Pasha, Burrow Strike down on bottom lane. Maledict and the Paralyzing Cask won't bounce anywhere, but the damage Envy has taken once more is more than enough to tick him out. He's trying to get some kind of revenge onto Pasha, but one charges keep him alive, and they just leave Envy to dot.
Solo with the execute. Turns away, doesn't even have to look at his dirty deed as DJ.
Oh, that was so close to Pasha.
But does manage to get out, and so far they have done a very good job of locking down Envy. And it's just been Solo going everywhere. It felt like half a second ago he was mid, killing Abed, and then he makes the rotation down very fast as Envy goes down to that. Doesn't expect the speed of that. Doesn't even have boots right now at 6 minutes into the game. It's been quite the sacrificial core for his team so far, but it's not even like anybody's prospering on their side, as this Death Prophet is doing very well against Universe.
This is at least nice for DJ, or is it? Solo burns the shrine and forces DJ away.
Yeah, and out top, Exorcism was committed. Ramsey's trying to make a move onto Universe as he is being chased by the creeps.
Yeah, they need to close the distance, however. That won't really happen, but Death Prophet can at least creep skip and then hit into the tower with the end of the Exorcism.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This ES is just not really, like, you talk about no boots onto Eternal Envy. They might still be able to get this stun onto SK. He Burrow Striked away. Pylai Die is right behind him, but Solo starts his rotation. Maledict is up, Paralyzing Cask. It would have been a half-decent time. Would have bounced off to the range creep and back down again. But doesn't happen. Now Ramsey's, they really want to go on top. Universe roars out, going on the Death Prophet, who's already been sent back home. Roger dies quickly. They're looking for the bonus damage, but they know it won't be coming. DJ holds his fissure.
Clean send back as in mid, Abed taking some damage, but no one is out of mana once again. Would probably like to shrine in this position. It's Roger. TP's in mid, gonna try to build up another set of creep armies. As in this bottom lane, it's been very good so far for VP, as now they're gonna smoke. Really like to see them make this rotation into mid. They know that Envy's been slowed down enough that they don't have to worry about him too much. And it's the true core right now.
Abed's walking into him. He's coming for the 8-minute rune.
Oh, it's gonna be top.
Yeah, it's top. He doesn't come all the way down. And Beastmaster is even coming down too, so if they want to fight, I suppose there's no Raw. But there's 3 points in Maledict that Solo's just itching to cast on somebody.
And that's just the luck of the draw. They want no one right now to open up with the Astral. Where's the TPs right now from Fnatic?
Nothing's coming. Now VS is only just starting his TP. The shields will hold for a little bit. And Eternal Envy, level 6, just watches his teammate die. Nothing more he can do as the tower will get pressured.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Don't know if that was fully part of the plan or Fnatic just not reacting in time.
Yeah, Fnatic have very good vision of this game right now. You notice they've got this ward on this high ground at bottom, they've got one in mid, and so they should sense these kinds of rotations coming in, because surely they're not going to go for Universe in this sort of position. They really want Abed there, and Envy should have made the call. Nobody showed at bottom for quite some time. Abed has to be careful about that. It's a very strong kill combo from Virtus Pro with the Maledict.
This feels like a very different Fnatic to the Fnatic we were watching yesterday.
Yes, they are playing a lot slower, and Envy normally was being very proactive in their games, whereas against VP it feels as though they've sort of taken the back seat.
Yeah. But where does that speed come from? Obviously, you're not going to get a lot of speed out of the Medusa, but everybody else, like the VS pickup does this. Beastmaster is the highest net worth on Fnatic, and he's going to go Shadowblade, so Universe is definitely wanting to get into there and fight, but it's VB who, once again, are the team that are smoking. They're the team who are hunting.
Yes. And
they'll take the top tier 1 tower as well.
We haven't really felt DJ's presence, I think is the big thing. Right now, he's focused a lot more on pulling and farming, and normally we see him get a lot more active on the map, at least try to create something for his team. Thus far, we haven't seen that, and they are playing a lot slower as, once again, they want to set up for mid. No one should make this a little bit obvious. They should ping for this.
Abed reacted a lot sooner this time. Backed up towards the tower as quickly as he possibly could. But this bottom tower is still under siege. And it looks like Virtus.pro have no intention to defend it. Chen's just taking over the Dire jungle. Death Prophet does have Exorcism available. And the next wave coming in for them is going to be a catapult wave. So they have enough momentum that potentially they could just keep pushing.
Right now, Fnatic, they've got to do something about this Death Prophet, who's been completely uncontested. When the Beastmaster makes his rotation, Ramses feels like he has a free lane, which is going to force Universe back up here. But Universe is the tempo creator on the side of Fnatic because Envy's been set so far behind that he can't really rotate like he normally does. And when Universe shows like this, it alerts Virtus.pro to the fact that they can be very greedy.
Yep. Surprisingly enough, actually, Universe's TPM was, he tried to remain hidden, but he did it right underneath the Radiant Creep Wave. Roar up on top, Death Prophet needs some more life. 14-1 charges will buy this time for Ramses, but DJ slams it down and says, nope, thank you. This Death Prophet must die, and Fnatic finally get themselves a kill, a much-needed kill.
Yeah, that's going to slow down the tempo of Virtus.pro a little bit. It's a big core kill that they managed to grab. They did have to commit both the Roar and the Echo Slam, but I think they needed to get something done on the map. It's that bottom lane, Pasha, going to start getting very aggressive on this tower, and Fnatic, I think this is a very good tower for them to defend.
Yep. Arbed's coming in. The Mystic Snake's going to cause some problems, taking off a lot of mana as well as life. And that's enough for VP just to back off for the moment.
And in mid lane, Pylai going to deny that mid tower, well in range. I think that all these tier 1 towers, though, when you have a hero like Medusa or somebody that can just simply frontline, you need to defend them. Oftentimes you're going to give them up. The top safe lane tower is perfectly okay to give up, but the bottom one and the mid one is going to control so much of your map control. As at bottom, Roger.
Yeah, he's on the run. Picked up a Sata just to get in the back of Eternal Envy. Here's your Paralyzing Casket. Will not bounce back down again. And they cannot close the distance.
He really wanted the swap, but
it was on cooldown for the moment.
Yeah, the Ghost wanted the stun. Is Roger going to deny that bottom tower? And now Fnatic, they rotated 3 heroes down here. They're all going to show up in mid.
They're expecting something. Okay, there's a lot of pings coming out on top of Universe. Underneath that Radiant Observe Ward, Burrow Strike, and Exorcism from Ramses. They ensure this kill with Epicenter too. Meanwhile, Solo found Pylai die, hiding in the trees. The Fissure cancels at least the Death Ward, but 2 quick kills for Virtus.pro, and on the back of the Exorcism and the Creep Wave, damage to the tier 2 tower is incoming.
There's no way they expected that kind of rotation. With the tower denied, they thought that Fnatic, or that VP would make the rotation in the bottom or the top, and so they weren't ready for that connection quite yet. Because there's no objective for them to get after that. That was just purely going for kills.
A little bit of damage will help him. DJ trying to find that money. Starts his TP out. Where's the stuns? Nothing is in range. And Pasha, it's already too late. As into mid, they jump. Eternal Envy.
Another kill.
It doesn't matter what lane he goes into. It just seems to be a bad day for him. 0-4, half of the kills the VP have claimed.
Yeah, 0-4-0. I mean, Envy has been so pivotal for this Fnatic team in setting the pace. It feels like he rotates so early on into this game to create space for the rest of his team. But it just feels like they're a little bit out of sorts right now, Toby.
Yeah. As like normally there's a plan B. Like Arbed is still the plan B, but you can't just win one of your lanes here. You're going to continue to be forced out. This is a Chen and a Death Prophet. It will keep forcing the issue, and the high ground defense won't be strong enough.
Yeah.
Like if Blink Dagger is arrives on DJ, then I think there's a little bit more confidence in the potential of Fnatic.
I think they're still perfectly fine because of how farmed DJ is. He's barely behind Envy when it comes to the net worth chart. Very nearly completed the Blink Dagger. Now he's fully committed to the farm, which I think is the right idea. But at the same time, this is not the pace that they set when they played against Secret. And up at top, Solo, he's going to make the rotation again. This would be Envy's 5th death.
Oh, this is just almost cruel. TP support's coming in from the Bane. OD is also on the way in. It's almost like they're trying to they want Fnatic to chase him. But it will not happen. Everyone's just back to their farm game. Pasha's already picked up his Blink Dagger. So the SK range initiation is available. They can almost think about Roshan too. Medallion of Courage is on Chen. You got the army up. Don't know if you have enough damage unless you want to commit Exorcism.
Credit though to Fnatic supports. They've had very good wards this entire game.
Yep.
They spot most of these rotations coming in as VP. They're grouped up. I would imagine that they want to grab this tier 2 tower atop so that they can rotate straight into Roshan right after. But they're going to go for this mid one. It's DJ. Really close to his Blink Dagger. This would be a massive pickup.
Yeah, Ramsey's going to commit. Here comes your silence as well as Exorcism Universe. Raw to create space, but no one brings the rain of the Sanity's Eclipse. That TP extra is going to be cancelled, but here comes Pasha. Epicenter Burrow Strike, just a straggler. Universe, he just picked up the Shadow Blade. He wanted to fight, but never found the opening. Already committed the Raw beforehand with 2 heroes down without buyback.
Are they
and
really
Exorcism only through 3/4 of the duration. They're going to attack in. Fortification from Fnatic has to be burned here. And Medusa with the Mystic Snake, it will give VP pause for concern, and they will retreat.
15 minutes in, already pressuring that. As with the Glyph, they're not going to cop too much damage. They were just trying to use out the rest of the Exorcism duration. But still, a very fast pace being set right now.
This is coming again. The pace is going to increase. A Blink Dagger on the back of the Death Prophet. We already saw Ramsey's doing this earlier today, but you've got a Blink Dagger coming up for no one as well. Actually, I think he bought it and then he kind of sold it. Okay, now he's actually picking it up with an extra 1,000 gold.
I think he thought briefly about going for a BKB or even finishing the Hurricane Pike, but doesn't do so. And Envy leading his team into this Roche Pit. This is so common of...
Ping instantly. The second it started, they pinged out. I think the Wave of Terror gotten vision of something from the Radiant side. Either way, that ping came out from Solo. They know Sentry wards it down. Vision from DJ keeping Solo at bay. There's the Hadouken through the pit. Roshan down to 3.2k life right now. Beastmaster having a hard time. He's underneath the Sentry ward. That's why they put it down. Pasha with a follow-up Barrow Strike and the Echo Slam. DJ trying to help out, but it took almost no effect at all. Eternal Envy will fall. Abed turns on the Stone Gaze and Death Prophet Fiend script up. They really committed for this, but it's worth it. Abed gets a double kill, both Ramses and Solo. Huge kills for them. The follow-up, Totem stunned by DJ, means that Fnatic are getting the upper hand. Maybe Pasha looks to turn it around. Buy space for no one. The Fissure stun. Well, it buys a little bit of time, but this is for Pile Die to come out the Abyss. They switch the Nightmare off. That's no one with 28 points of stolen intelligence. Smacking Fnatic with their own smarts.
Yeah, and they needed him a little bit sooner for that, but still... Not the worst fight in the world for Fnatic, but they don't grab the Roshan, which was the main objective, and they have studied Fnatic. They know that when they're pressed into a corner, Fnatic, they go for those dangerous Roshans that most teams don't expect them to, but VP were so fast on the uptick.
Yeah. That's the other good thing about Fnatic, right? Like when they're backed in the corner, they don't wait to go for those desperate things. They don't think about it and then set up. Like that's just a straight smoke, run in, and we just play the card game.
Still, Abed did not die throughout that. Picked up a heavy amount of net worth. When you are behind like that, any kill does matter, and he did get a few of those.
He got Abed, he got Ramses as well as Solo, so it was worth quite a fair chunk of money.
This Roche, there's no creeps on the side of VP. It is kind of low.
Yeah, here comes the Centaur. And Fnatic, well, they're smoked up, they're coming over, but with Exorcism committed and Roshan already being low, Fnatic will not get there in time. All they can do is potentially pick off someone as they retreat back out to the lane.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure about this move because Envy can't TP, and he's not making his way over, so at best they get a 4-on-5 fight.
The Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yep. It does feel odd. There is no doubt about that. But Envy is focusing on his next item. He's just focusing on getting that BKB up and running.
Yeah, he just needs to fight right now. He understands the position that his team is in.
Radiant's middle tower.
They need to create some kind of space, but with this Aegis, it's going to dissuade them from going for the 5-man. So there's going to be some time period where VP are just going to get a lot of map control.
Well, VP are coming to establish more control. Solo and no one smoked up inside their base a long, long way away. They look for the kill. But they're ready to showcase a new item. The Hurricane Pike is there now with a Blink Dagger on OD. Very, very difficult. Can't disjoint those attacks. At least not with what they've got.
They know that Universe is there, but with no dust, Universe has that Shadow Blade that
he's gone up. Solo, they found him. Blink forward. Maledic's done. Whoa! Okay, no waiting at all, but he lives. No, he doesn't. Maledic got him.
So much for no dust.
They really don't hold back on their Sanity's Eclipse. It's like it's a 160-second cooldown, and no one's just so liberal with it.
I think getting the kill on the core, he's going to be pretty satisfied about that. As this mid wave, Envy, He's parked up here. Doesn't want to quite go for the ward deny yet.
Yeah, they have to. Observe ward's there. No one's back to the front lines. Blink and Hurricane Pike forward. Eternal Envy wants to fight him. There's the quick stun, but the orb attacks. Solo going to be there too. Needs to hit that paralyzing cast just so no one can close the distance. He can blink in front of Eternal Envy. It's almost like watching Envy killing off everyone else back when he was playing the Clinks with the Blink Dagger. There's just nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. And Envy's down once more. That's now his 6th death of the game. This is not a happy place for him or anyone for Fnatic. That OD is a beast.
They don't really have the tools to deal with his Aegis right now.
It's a 7-0-2 OD. It's the ultimate dream game for a momentum style hero like him.
Yeah, once he grabs the BKB, he's going to feel nigh unkillable in this game.
Yep. Medusa's actually looking for her own BKB. They're trying to get rid of the damage these orbs are dishing out to them.
Fort is committed. And with that, in VP, they have this Aegis for a little bit longer. They might think about going for the high ground. It is quite dangerous because of how Earthshaker plus Medusa works. They could always get caught, trapped inside the base. It's not easy for them to make that rotation in.
So play it safe.
Indeed, although they might run into Roger here. His creeps first. And they've scanned him successfully.
Yeah, Beastmaster needs the Raw. They also need a follow-up. It's difficult to bring people in range. DJ's got the Blink Dagger, but they went the wrong direction. Chen Army goes into the lane to push it out, but Chen's already leaving.
Yeah, I wonder if he even brings back his creeps during this time as Universe. Gonna reveal himself now.
Man, I just love the balls from no one. Just aggressively blinking forward wherever he wants to go. Didn't even have vision up that hill when he blinked. He just did it. Whatever he finds, he'll take it. The Aegis Immortal still got a little bit more time left on it.
And look at DJ. Tucked into the corner. No one looked like he had some inkling that he is there. And now he's going to complete the TP.
Yep. This will allow VP to now take the tier 1 and tier 2 tower on bottom lane. Interestingly enough, Fnatic put down both the Observer and Sentry in that area, maybe considering the defense.
My favorite part so far about this game, Toby, is that VP is being very formulaic, but super safe overall. Like, no one understands, okay, just because we have Aegis doesn't mean that we have to force a high ground engagement at all. Very often teams take the approach that the first Aegis will mean map control, take down all the tier 2 towers. The second Aegis is going to be the one that you generally want to try to go high ground into. But Fnatic, they've got other ideas. They're smoked up, and Roger's nowhere to be found. They thought that Fnatic would not take this kind of fight.
I don't know how Fnatic actually take this fight when you... Like, yeah, you just lost your Observer Ward, but how do you jump in and actually get the kill? That's a Solar Crest, Yule Scepter, and a Blink Dagger and a Death Prophet. Anyone you go on, OD can just imprison. You never know exactly where Pasha is with his stun, or Witch Doctor with the paralyzing cask. It seems to be an impossible task to get a proper initiation off without full vision of VP.
The awkward thing about that was normally you'll have the Juicer shove in that top lane if your team's going to go for a smoke like that and not engage, but they don't really get anything out of the map off of that. And that's typically what happens when the enemy team has Roshan. You take advantage of the fact that they're going to go for 5-mans or play very safe, and as a result, no one's really going to contest you on the map. But they don't opt to do that, and instead, they're just kind of huddled together even further.
So they just bunker down on that bottom lane, try and protect the Trinity camp. It's not going to work well for them, especially when they're farming underneath the range of an Observer Ward. So Pasture's in the neighborhood, ensuring no attack will be successful, or any kind of attack has already been flagged out.
The good news, though, is that they still have a Medusa, and in a game like this, she can always be successful. And so it's hard to completely count Fnatic out.
Yeah. But it's going to take one heavy lifting from Abed.
Yeah. They've got double BKB now, though. Envy's completed his. It is going to cost them their buyback, but it is a very necessary item in a game like this.
So much experience and money coming in for Abed. Good top lane. Trouble for Pylai. So no real way to survive this. Got a couple of one charges, but I think he understands he's dead and no one. Just for the easy slide in to kill secure. That's his now 8th kill of the game.
And look, Abed has climbed to the top of the net worth chart. This is still relatively doable for Fnatic. It's going to be tough, and It's going to require VP to get a little bit too aggressive.
This looks like a better push now for Abed. I don't know if he wants to shove it in one more. Just ask yourself, what would EE do? He would hide in the trees.
Yeah,
it would seem.
He's making the correct play. He doesn't see enough people on the map right now. It's really worrisome for him. And VP are just waiting for the second Roshan. They're being very patient about this. This is the time period where Fnatic get a little bit more freedom on the map.
Well, they know his Death Prophet jumped out, so Universe is coming in for a kill if possible. Underneath the Observer and Sentry Wood, he'll have to be careful. The Raw SK. Pylai was ready to go, but Universe needed to begin with the Raw, but Pasha too quick on the blink.
Now everyone down here, they're just protecting this camp. I think it's the right idea. There's not anything really for them to do aside from wait for the next Roshan. Pylai gonna just blink forward.
Wow, they just go after him. They're bringing in the extra creeps, and Pasha brings in the epicenter. Oh, Pylai not where he wanted to be. Eternal Envy might be in trouble as well. He's only got a BKB. His movement speed is pretty poor. So they'll make a break for the tree line. No one finds DJ in the trees while the Biostrike controls up Eternal Envy. Medusa has joined this fight, but DJ just getting wrecked by no one. Support is there. They drop the hammer, and Universe getting burnt down. 3 heroes on the sideline for Fnatic. No buybacks for any of them. And you're 26 minutes in, Roshan has respawned, but Ramses with the Exorcism up, he wants to push high ground.
And that was very confusing from Fnatic. Pylai just walks up very confidently, runs into a bunch of heroes, and the rest of Fnatic aren't really prepared for that die with him, thinking that maybe there's a fight to be found, but VP are so strong at this point. That's an Acceptor on your Chen, your DP is very strong, you've got a BKB on your OD. That is not a winnable fight for you.
You just picked up a fresh BKB as well on the Death Prophet.
Yeah. They didn't even have to go into Roshan or anything like that. That was just a free set of racks. It's very rare in situations like this to just get that.
And now they can actually go for Roshan if they want to. If Fnatic want to try and contest it, they do have the abilities to do so. And knowing Fnatic's mindset, they will want to get down there as quick as possible.
Gold lead now, 15K at 27 minutes. Lincoln's is going to be the next item of choice for the Sand King. And that is going to heavily counter a single target from Fnatic. Their main AoE, of course, being that Earthshaker Echo Slam, but hasn't really found the opportunities to use it quite yet. And with the multiple BKBs on the side of Virtus Pro, it's going to get even harder for him.
I love the VP scan. Like they scanned just that small little path from the Dire side jungle down in towards Roshan, just to be certain. But oh, Fnatic, you thought you were safe. You just smoked underneath the Radiant Observer Ward, and VP are already mocking it in the quick chat wheel. So all they have to do is basically hold the high ground. This will be the ramp area just to the south of where VP are now, because he walks underneath the Sentry Ward. Universe is revealed. The Sentry actually working against Virtus Pro in a way.
Yeah, they wanted them to walk up that hill.
Yep. And now they won't. Fnatic try and push down the mid. Everyone here from VP has arrived, and they need that stun. The swap. Oh no!
They need to get out full retreat mode.
Oh, run away, run away, run away. Mistakes were made. Pylai die. He's turning. He's going for the Fiend's Grip. Pasha is now freed. Abed, I'm not quite certain if he's trying to farm Ancients or farm up heroes. For now, Eternal Envy, Maledict on him once more, and you've got Ramsey just jumping in with that fresh BKB of his, going to work with the ultimate. Pylai dies being brought down by 3 other heroes at the same time. The Stone Gaze is triggered, but the Hand of God repairs almost all of the damage. The epicenter is there. Pasha can't close the distance onto Eternal Envy, and he will go down to the Exorcism eventually. Yes, he will fall. It looks like Abed will join him as well, and this has gone from bad to worse. Fnatic with 4 heroes down. If they buy back on the Deuce, you may as well say goodbye to your hard carry. They could not disengage from that debacle of an engagement.
Yeah, that was so awkward for them. As soon as they run into that illusion and roar it, they understand their mistake, but it feels too late to get out at that point. Not a whole lot that they could do in a game like this, as this will be the second lane of racks, almost guaranteed.
It could be 3 as well. And there's your jump in already. Blink Yule Scepter is allowing no one. He's got 60 stolen intelligence right now. They dust and kill the Beastmaster, and that is the game. Eternal Envy taps out with GG. 30 minutes is how long this game took. VP in control the entire way.
Yeah, there was very little slip-up point for them. And That was not the kind of game that we expected out of Fnatic.
It really was not. Their vision game was on point, but as you were mentioning in the early game, the reaction seemed a little bit odd. Like, it was coming a little bit slow, the movement was coming out, that small gank on the Medusa at the very start. Where was the TP support coming when the Observer Ward was scouting the rotation as well? Not sensing the third hero to arrive. Yeah. Just seems like a bit of a rough road for Fnatic, but never count them out. You learn your lesson once, you learn your lesson all the time. Fnatic are never out of it. They're just making the storyline a little bit better by losing game 1. Game 2, we'll see if they can fight back and give us a full day of Dota with all three series.
Thank you very much, Toby. Yes, that's a positive way of looking at it, isn't it, really? Is, you know, they're making the story better for us. They're making it more interesting for the crowd. They're making it more interesting for their fans. They've got to come back from 1 down to make a grand final right now to stop VP going through to the grand final. Virtus.pro now just 1 game away from making sure that we get the first ever double winner of an ESL 1, because Vici Gaming are already there. Gents, let's talk about game 1, Alan. That didn't go well for Fnatic. I think that might be the most understated thing I've said all day.
Yeah. I mean, in general, like the side lane meta at this tournament has kind of been like a theory crafter's dream, right? I mean, we're seeing a Death Prophet Shen dual lane. Okay, but it works, right? You get that Death Prophet Beastmaster matchup that you want, and that really keyed the entire game for VP. Also have to say, that is for no one. 38 kills and 2 deaths in 4 games. I think if this keeps going, we're going to have matching Mercedes on that VP squad.
That's what it felt like to me as well. No one played really well, but I thought the difference was just that the Fnatic lineup didn't do very much. Envy was in the off lane. A lot of the times he felt solo. When the camera would catch him, he would just kind of be killed by Maledict. Solo made amazing plays with the Witch Doctor, creating pressure. And what it made me look at was just the support duo, that they couldn't do that much. Bane is like a lane winner, and if the lanes aren't won in a convincing way, and he's not 6 yet, he doesn't do anything. And Earthshaker is similar. He's got a fissure, but if he doesn't have a Blink Dagger, he's also not going to be able to make huge plays happen. So it got to this mid game where the first like 5 minutes didn't go very well for Fnatic, and then it just was bad from there on out.
Cap, did it feel like they departed from the way they've played well in the other games? It didn't feel like the same team, did it?
No. I don't think that's it. I think Virtus.pro was just pretty well prepared. I think it's relatively simple in the fact that, first of all, they have the OD versus Duset matchup, and then they also have the Death Prophet versus Beastmaster. So what this does is the Death Prophet versus Beastmaster makes sure that your lanes don't go very well, because you've got this matchup, you're not able to push the aggression like you wanted to, and then on the other side, you've got Sand King Witch Doctor, which is going to do fine against the Vengeful Spirit Bane, and then the one-on-one matchup. So if the lanes don't go well, then you can't get this 4-man crew of Fnatic, which is what they wanted to run with this Dusa. They want to run a 4-man crew where a Vengeful Spirit core and a Beastmaster core run around and go kill things, but without a strong laning phase start, they're not going to be able to get that. And so they're just at the mercy of VP at that point in time. And even if VP slip up, they still have an OD. So at that point in time, they're not gonna be like, oh no, the Deuce is too big now. Like, the OD still feels okay.
Yeah, and Virtus.pro, I mean, what can you say about the fact that they've played so well that game?
Yeah, they played really clean. I think that everyone on the side of Virtus.pro did pretty well. Ramsey's looking better and better on this side lane Death Prophet that they keep on doing. Pasha as the initiator, still on point. Yeah. I got to give props to Pasha. I actually thought when he first joined Virtus.pro a while back, I thought he was the weak link on the squad, but he has consistently put in very strong performances.
Yeah, it has. Alan, statistically?
So, yeah, statistically, you look at the numbers coming in. So OD did 16.7k hero damage in that match. That's twice any other hero on the map. But that's kind of what OD is supposed to do. The thing that I really love about No One as a player is he takes these meta heroes and he really puts his stamp on them, like he did with the Puck, like he did with the Viper, and now the OD, where he is playing up in your face. I think every banish that I saw, missed the first couple minutes of that game, every banish that I saw personally was offensive in that game. He's not using that as a save, he's using it to set up kills, and that feeds so well into what VP want to do as a team.
It was like his mousetrap, like, I'm going to deal with you in a second, first I'm going to kill your friend, and then I'm going to eat you. He played amazing, he really did.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, Fnatic, look at that, what do they talk about now for game 2?
Well, I don't think you really want to go back on it, but I personally, looking back on the draft, I really wish that they had ban the OD and get him out the Broodmother instead, because I think the OD matches up better against the Dusa. I think that naturally a Broodmother game would have taken over the early game, but you'll naturally survive. And eventually you will overcome that. I think an OD, it's not that clear matchup. And on top of that, the OD has a lot. We didn't really see it that game, but there was opportunity for like Bane Fiend's Grip. Well, there's a save coming up from the OD. Beastmaster Roar, Vengeful Spirit, like all of this single target that Fnatic had, they had a saving mechanism from a core. And that, I think that is one of the most underrated things about OD in the game.
Yeah, and the other thing that I look at as we move toward game 2 is when you pick supports like an Earthshaker and a Bane that kind of do one thing, like the Earthshaker is there to be a Fisher to stop the Chen aggression, but if you misread the lanes even slightly when you do that, you subject yourself to getting really picked on. And as you saw, you know, the Earthshaker was there, he stopped the Chen aggression, but the DP still got the farm. They were still fine.
Okay. We're going to head to a break right now and let the players regroup, get themselves ready for game number 2. Will it be the last one today? We're going to find out very shortly.
And they need that stun. The swap. Oh, no.
They need to get out full retreat mode.
Oh, run away, run away, run away. Mistakes were made. Pylite die. He's turning. He's going for the Fiend's Grip. Pasha is now freed. Albed, I'm not quite certain if he's trying to farm Ancients or farm up Heroes, but now Eternal Envy, Maledict on him once more, and you've got Ramsey just jumping in with that fresh BKB of his, going to work with the ultimate. Pylite die is being brought down by 3 other heroes at the same time. The Stone Gaze is triggered, but the Hand of God repairs almost all of the damage. The epicenter is there. Pasha can't close the distance onto Eternal Envy, and he will go down to the Exorcism eventually. Yes, he will fall. It looks like Arbed will join him as well, and this is gone from back.
I do. I want to get in there.
Wow. I'm not dead.
Are you dead? Yeah, I'm dead.
Never, dude.
Dude, look at that macro pyre, dude. Oh my god.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Life is all about following a few simple rules. Dress proper. Get a real job. Start a family. Be humble. Time to grow up.
Ultimately, this trip could bring my career to the next level.
I'm not very worried about losing. I'm worried about missed opportunities.
I just scream and say yes twice.
Yes! You try your best, you feel good about yourself.
So
What's really going to separate them is decision making and strategizing.
Lara, you found my secret. Our world is in danger. You must stop them.
It'll be an adventure.
Some men like dangerous women.
You shouldn't have come here, but I'm glad that you did.
You messed with the wrong family.
Tomb Raider.
Can't be too careful these days. The world has gone bloody mad.
I'll take 2.
Only in cinemas.
ESL 1 Katowice is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, Alienware, PaySafeCard, Logitech G, and Hacks.
Welcome back to ESL 1 Katowice 2018. Live coverage from the Spodek Arena of the final semi-final of the round. And it is potentially the last game of the night as well, or is it? Can those Fnatic boys turn things around? A quick mention for you as well. If you haven't already voted for the MVP, do head over to the link on your screen in just a moment to vote for the Mercedes-Benz MVP. If you've seen something extraordinary today, a brilliant performance, anything that you think stands out, that might just swing the vote. Or just check out what's going on in the MVP vote and then come back tomorrow and vote, because it does end, of course, tomorrow. And someone is walking away with a Mercedes-Benz worth $50,000. Could it be the Mercedes-Benz E400, the brand new addition to the... You know the meme. I'm not doing it anymore. Let's get back into the things with the draft, which is coming up very shortly. For game number 2 with our panel, once more back with the Haz, with Purge, and with Cat. What do you want from Fnatic this time?
A win.
Well, apart from a win, what do you want to see in the draft?
A fight. Oh, wait.
A fight? Oh, my.
No,
That's a bit harsh, Kevin.
I think they definitely fought, but it was very...
It was hard
a very
for
difficult
them in that
fight.
game, yeah.
I think you can't let them have a hero that's so good at laning like Witch Doctor. I think potentially the Chen is around the same kind of discussion point, because VP is clearly warmed up from this morning. They stayed warmed up,
Definitely
and they just stomped their lanes.
Yeah. So, any advice? If you're coach Fnatic now, Alan, what are you saying to them?
I think you're
in terms of draft.
I think you're focusing on the support position in this next, and you're trying to give yourself supports that are very strong in lane, but also very flexible. Because as the draft went on, it really felt like they were getting boxed in. By the way, just to follow up with some numbers on the way that no one played that OD. 16 casts of Astral Imprisonment. 15 were on the opposing heroes, only one on our teammate. 10 of them were on Abed's Medusa, and then you follow that up with all 4 Sanity's Eclipses. All of that almost 5k damage was onto the 3 through 5 positions, Earthshaker, Bane, and Beastmaster. You have a nice tanky Medusa. How nice. You sit there, I kill the rest of your team.
Yeah, that was basically the story of the game. He went Force and Blink instantly, and he just attacked supports, and they couldn't really stop him. It was they either Nightmare him, or they Fissure him, and then they hope that he can't kill them, but he obviously follows up and secures those kills consistently. He just could do whatever he wanted to that game.
It's why the OD Dusa matchup is so. I personally think it's quite favored for the OD, is because not just the intelligence. It's because when you go on the Dusa, you actually can kill the Dusa before she stone gazes, because the intelligence steal. But otherwise, you just make the Dusa disappear, and you can always kill the enemy team faster than Dusa can kill your team. Because you're an OD, you do single target damage, you're gonna drop a huge nuke. Dusa doesn't have really anything like that. You saw like the one fight. I think we only had one fight where we finally got BKB on the Dusa, which means he's no longer susceptible to that. But the problem is we're seeing this in every single Dusa game right now. She goes rah 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 and pops the stone gaze, and everyone just turns the other direction, walks away, chills out a little bit, and then re-engages. And then a Dusa just really isn't scary at that point until like late in the game. And even then, I feel like many other carries are still out carrying her.
And it's made even worse by the prevalence of all the regen stacking that we're seeing. You know, you have a Chen in this game that while that enemy team is just running away from Stone Gaze, they're coming back at like almost full health.
And I think the more crucial point is how much mobility items are purchased right now. Not only did OD go for Force Blink, but the Death Prophet went like Yule's into Blink herself, followed up with like a Solar Crest and then a BKB. That way, when it was time to fight and the Dusa ulti ends, she can instantly get in the perfect position. Maybe her raw HP is a little bit weak, and her armor is maybe not the best, but with BKB and Blink, she instantly goes on the supports and kill them. That was just supports dying repeatedly.
I'm really glad you made that point, because you saw in the game, this is what I love about teams when they're making item reads as a unit, where the OD and the Death Prophet bought Blink Daggers at almost exactly the same time. They were clearly talking about that was the way they wanted to approach the fights.
Pop quiz time, Alan.
Do it.
How many Beastmasters have been picked by Virtus Pro?
Not many.
That's what I was thinking, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's just not a hero that VP really want to run, because I feel like their lineup always looks better when Pasha's on something much more aggressive and less farmy, and Beastmaster is probably one of the farmier heroes. So I was thinking about that draft, and I feel like Fnatic was the ones who banned one of like the key tempo controllers that's really important for them, the Gyrocopter. Like, they're not going to get their Razor. It's just not going to happen. So you need a different hero. And, I mean, I don't like Vengeful Spirit Core, so Gyrocopter feels a whole lot better than that.
I mean, I think the Venge is a good solution if you have Abed on a hero that can follow up the Shadow Blade Venge build or some kind of small item, mid-game oriented Venge build. But you know, when Abed's on Medusa, Venge is ready to go around and fight. Beastmaster is ready to go around and try and pick people off. What's a Medusa going to do to help with that?
Yeah.
Worked out in some of the other games, but I think this will work in a similar way, even if Envy plays it. Create space, make things happen, get kills, lane well. Tiny can accomplish all that.
Do you know when the last time Virtus Pro played a Beastmaster?
It's been a couple months, I think.
Has been a couple of months. Do you know who it is against?
No. Tell me it was against Fnatic.
Fnatic.
Nice. Well stat memed, Paul. So proud of you.
I'm learning from the moment.
I did want to talk about the Tiny because Fnatic are an interesting team in that they run the Tiny in 4 positions. They actually run DJ on support Tiny, and that's the most. They have 6 games DJ on Tiny, and that's more than any other player.
Go. Virtus Pro set this trap for Evil Geniuses.
Oh, yeah.
The trap is a little bit different, though, because their pickups are much better against the Wisp Tiny. And again, like, it could just be a support, so... but either way, it's not like I hate Virtus Pro's opening. Like, even if they're running, like, Bane, like, this is their 4-5. Like, I don't really care. I have Gyrocopter Sand King.
Yeah, I mean...
Feels good to me.
You go back to the Genting Rampage, and this is just a combination that VP are so comfortable with. And with the added dimension now, that Lil Sand King is pretty strong. Roger is capable of playing the 4-position Sand King at a truly elite level. So you have 3 and 4, it becomes even more flex value. Interesting Tinkerband there by VP in the 4th position, rather. Really attacking Abed's hero pool.
They did the same thing last game, right?
Mm-hmm. Believe so.
Yeah, it just shows how the meta's changed in 2 months, by the way. Because when Fnatic played against Virtus Pro, when they picked that Beastmaster, guess what else they played in that game? A Luna, a Shaman, and a Brood.
Yeah, Shaman was streaking
It
real hard a
was.
couple months ago.
Yeah, and that had a Sand King in it as well.
He still is for Fnatic. Fnatic are one of the teams that really favor it. The other thing about the Tinkerband here is that TB is still in the pool. And that VP very much can represent a second stage TB pick. I really love the pairing of TB with Gyro as the 2 cores.
Glad they banned the Omni Knight. I felt like that was pretty obvious, especially since VP ran it against EG. It enables the Gyrocopter quite a lot.
Really works well against a hero like Tiny that needs to get these burst kills. Kind of Bane's similar situation. Would have made it harder for that lane to do anything.
There is still the AoE controllers out there. Disruptor against the Tiny with his Sand King setup.
The Dragon Knight, and again, a little bit of flex value there.
A good opening since Death Prophet's already out too.
They've run that in 3 different positions, have VP.
You can still do an Eternal Envy Viper if you want.
Ooh.
A lot of magic damage on the side of VP. Has a break ability against the DK.
Yep.
That's true. My first thought was Underlord, maybe. But they've already got Tiny, so maybe it won't work for the lanes.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think the Beastmaster was the problem last game, honestly. I would not hesitate to go back to it here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely agree. I was just thinking the fact that, like, by first picking the Beastmaster, they end up giving up away certain heroes that I feel like were pretty important for them.
I agree.
Because it's like VP they wouldn't have picked it, I don't think, so.
Okay, good call on the Viper. Yeah.
It's interesting, actually. The times that they brought out Tiny, albeit going back a few weeks now, they've also paired that with a Rubik, which seems a little odd. Not so much paired it with it, but it's been picked alongside.
10 seconds remaining.
I feel like Rubik's tiered out just a little bit here. Last couple sets of the tournament.
Okay. Just today, it doesn't seem to have been prioritized at all. It was the most picked.
It's just a little vulnerable.
This morning.
And it just doesn't have enough damage output, I think. Like level 1, level 2, it's too exploitable against heroes like Bane.
Yeah. Gyro is now the most picked again. It's gone back to the top after a quiet day yesterday. It's now back up to the top with 25 picks at ESL 1 Katowice.
I think Gyro DK is actually my current favorite core combination because many of the single target safe lane heroes that are going to be good versus the Gyrocopter will not match up against the DK. Kevin, there's your Underlord.
There's your Underlord. Good call, guys. I really feel, too, when you talk about that Gyro DK combination, that's a combination of cores you can easily get away with picking in the first 3 because they both have such lane flexibility.
I wonder how the Warlock's going to work out this game. I mean, it's great to have it sit behind Gyro DK. I really do love that dual lane as well. It just feels so much stronger for Gyro. It's like he can sit in the back, cast spells when needed, and DK takes all the heat.
So I've been picked a huge amount here, very situational. 4 picks, 3 wins.
The Warlock, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's maybe a good way to deal with all the tanky heroes.
Yeah.
Mix the Fatal Bonds around. put a heal on the Dragon Knight and the Gyrocopter, keep them alive. Good team fight. Lane-wise, it's very strong. In a lot of ways, semi-equivalent to a Bane for lane support and dual lane.
It's been picked against the Tiny 3 out of the 4 games.
It's not a VP hero, but Timbersaw would be pretty dope.
Yeah, the question I'm asking myself right now is do you believe that Abed Tiny can have the kind of impact that he would need to have? Abed, I think, needs you to win the game. Needs to win you the game.
Yeah.
In this kind of a draft set for Fnatic. And I'm a little bit worried about Tiny having the kind of impact that Abed needs to have.
Are you sure it'll be his hero?
Yes.
So it'll be
no, they can. That's the thing. They can go flex here, bump the Tiny to 4, which they've done, and pick an Abed hero 5th tier, right? That's why I'm saying the big dichotomy is okay. Do you pick a DJ hero here?
I can't think of a whole lot of DJ heroes that are really going to stop this team fighting power of
Shaman?
VP.
I was going to say they could go back for that Shaman,
Yeah,
couldn't they?
I think that's the. If you're going to pick a DJ hero here, I think the Shaman. The Coddle looked really questionable the other night for them. Oh, the Wraith King. There you go. So this. Oh my.
Well, you can't beat skeletons, that's for sure.
One of the few teams that are picking it.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised about that. It's very good at fighting. It's kind of like I would say it's like a better laning version of Chaos Knight, I guess, in that you have a stun. It's up pretty often. You're a little mana limited against big teamfight ultimates. Wraith King's great.
There's only one other team that have picked up Wraith King recently, and that was
Secret.
Yeah,
Yes.
They won both of their games at ESL 1 Katowice
Oh, I mean,
with the Wraith King.
Wraith King, again, if you look at how they like to play, Wraith King's an Envy hero, man.
Yep.
He fits so well the tempo of what they like to give to Envy, and I think this is going to be, boy, I'm not sure who's going to play the Tiny or the Viper, whether you see Abed Viper, which we have seen a game, or Abed Tiny. So what do you think about the lanes, Cap? That's going to be the decider, I think.
If VP was that team, I would actually like a little switcheroo and maybe they do a side lane DK with an OD. Other than that, I think.
Now you
Again,
do.
Timbersaw.
You do have to mention the Brood
Some-
here, right? For VP, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's necessarily good into the Underlord, but I think this could be a Brood game.
Oh.
There's also a laning issue with Fnatic, isn't there? Where are things going?
Yeah.
Safe lane. It's Wraith King for
Envy, Underlord for Universe.
and they're gonna have the Viper matched up mid against the DK, but
So
Yeah.
Tiny and Bane support.
And the question, right, is do you have to put Abed on the Tiny and just ask him to win the game? Because I don't think that any of the other heroes in Fnatic's lineup are just those game winners.
DJ has played the Tiny as a support.
Yeah, I don't think with the lineup that it. Well, no.
I think Wraith King's
no, Tiny support. It is a support. It's got to be.
It's
That's
the only way
right.
they can play it, right?
That's
so
right.
DJ takes the Tiny, Poloday takes
And
the
Abed
Bane.
Viper. Yeah, I don't know about Abed Viper.
I think if they win
okay.
the
Nice.
that was definitely worth it.
Timbersaw for Virtus Pro.
Yo,
Good
how many
call, Cap.
Virtus Pro Timbersaws are there?
Yeah, you
Not
guys
many.
got
Not a
through
whole lot
that
of them,
draft.
right?
Good job.
Yeah, not many at all, I wouldn't have thought.
It was a great pick with the Wraith King follow-up. Another strength hero, another tanky guy, cuts pure damage for all these guys.
It's been 10 months
Yeah.
since Virtus Pro last played.
Dude, if it was any
Timbersaw.
other team, I would have gone in hard on that
Timber,
Timbersaw.
yeah.
You were pretty much on it. You picked it. You called it. We gave you the credit for it. Okay, very quickly, let's go down the line. Alan, which way?
VP, I don't think Abed Viper wins you this game.
Kevin.
I have hopes for Wraith King. Show me a sick build. Take the win.
Okay.
VP.
Is that backwards? Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. I can't tell with a camera. Kevin.
He's just going for gifts at this point. Right, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats. This could be a bumpy ride. Virtus Pro versus Fnatic. They're all fighting for a place in the grand final. If they needed any more incentive, how about a Mercedes-Benz?
Who's your MVP, Will? Who is your most valuable player?
So far,
And is he any of those 10?
Could be. Depends on who wins the series. Right now, I think 11 is #1 for me right now.
All right.
I don't think a lot of people will vote for him, but I think it should be him.
We can ride and die on our own MVP votes. We're starting the movement right now. Everyone vote for 11. Start the petitions. Get it up everywhere you possibly can on your social media. But we can worry about that potentially a little bit later. For now, it's game 2. Virtus.pro versus Fnatic. VP 1 game up in the series as Fnatic are pulling out the Eternal Envy Wraith King with Pylai Die dual offlane. The support Tiny. How do you feel, Blitz? Thoughts?
That is interesting. I did not expect that to be the direction that they went. It's pretty okay, actually. It gets active on the map. You have good burst potential. It kind of sort of comes with the save. The initiation isn't bad, but I'm more curious to see about the core Wraith King, because the only time we've seen it in this tournament, I think, is when it was played by Puppey as a support.
Puppey support twice over by Team Secret.
Yeah, that is normally the way that people play it. I've not seen it in quite some time as a core.
It kind of feels like it's almost like that old initiation you used to have. Like, I don't need a Blink Dagger when I got a Tiny to toss me.
Yeah. Like that, the panel knew that this was going to be a side lane DK, and they actually try to avoid the Timbersaw, but Universe going to end up against him anyways.
How many times have we seen Universe end up in this mid lane for Fnatic? It's almost like he is the new mid. Abed plays the safe top lane with DJ. But life's going to be difficult for DJ at least. Like, that Shadow Word is removing his life rather fast. Not to mention the base harassment from the Warlock.
Ramsey's playing Gyrocopter, a hero he's very comfortable with.
It seems like a terrible lane for Fnatic. Like Abed at least has some of the range, but I don't really feel the influence of DJ bar tossing a couple of logs.
This is kind of going to be the problem with it. If this hero doesn't get kills, it feels a little bit mediocre as no one. Evened out right now as Universe doing a very good job of not losing the lane quite yet.
I like how you say not quite yet. Is this a certainty? Is it? I know strength heroes melee up against the Timbersaw is never a fun thing for you.
Yeah, the problem is it gets worse as the levels progress because you get more levels reactive, which means that Pit Lord can't really trade hits with them. It does force the Timbersaw, who's got very bad base damage, to use his nuke a lot to CS in front of the Atrophy Aura, but
he's also building into a Soul Ring to try and counter that kind of problem.
Yeah.
Knowing he'll have the regeneration from the reactive armor and then expends it the other way around.
And your spin is just so effective as solo. Taking a lot of damage, gonna get tossed in.
DJ really wanted that rune. And now he can actually grab both of them thanks to that toss positioning.
Even chucks the tree at him for good measure.
Remember me. I carved your name in this. Rogers found a little bit more space of his own as well. So he's managed to grab both of the bounty runes too. This is the sacrifice the pilot eye makes to ensure that the laning phase goes a little bit more his way. Got the pull a little bit oddly wrong. Ended up splitting the wave in half.
Pasha? That's a lot of skeletons.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage coming his way. The Nightmares on the SK keeping him out of this fight. The skeletons will allow Envy to die as he consumes the mango to get the extra blast with a Burrow Strike. Roger, he catches both Envy and Pylai Die, canceling the dive and allowing Pasha some time to heal up. While Ramsey's having to do exactly the same thing up on the top lane after Abed and DJ have a crack at him.
Yeah, nice laning phase start so far.
Pylai still on the run on bottom. Roger does not have a Burrow Strike available. Eternal Envy just in case. Starts swinging the blade in. Burning that mana with a Hellfire Blast.
Now Pasha's up to full HP with the double mango. Envy doesn't have a salve. Does have a tango ticking through though. And in this mid wave, Universe is actually keeping up quite nicely.
18 and 19-2 versus 17-2. Yeah. He is starting to lose a little bit more control though. As you said, like the levels start to spike with a 2-0-2 build on no one. So it was that big advantage that Universe was able to have early on that he's holding.
I'm impressed. He's just spamming out Firestorm. Both of them just trading out farm largely. Now they both have a Soul Ring, and Universe gonna take some damage here, but so is no one.
Have that never-ending spam. 10 reactive armor charges. Enough to dive in for another Whirling Death. But both 1 charges and Soul Ring, Universe should be okay. I'm having more fun just watching DJ walking around, trying to find that toss onto Solo. He's trying to get him into the dire creep wave and underneath our bed, into a place where he cannot escape.
Completely even start so far, though. Fnatic do have a very, very slight lead. That changes with pretty much every creep that gets taken here.
It'll change too once you start seeing more of these rotations. Like, no one in Universe can just go hammer and tongs at each other until somebody dies. But I'm waiting to see what happens with Pilot Eye as well as Roger. Like, do you even move him off that bottom lane? Do you accept this? Do you accept the status quo if you're both sides of the fence?
Yeah, I think both sides are actually kind of okay with this. The Bane is getting levels, as is the SK. Envy is having a much more successful game. The trade-off is the gyrocopters also getting a good amount of farm, but you need to get Envy involved. I think he's the type of player, he's okay having that kind of bad start, but it's a lot easier for him when he gets a pretty good laning phase and then he can just rotate around the map and start creating pressure.
Roger came top. This is that first rotation that I was looking for, but then mass pings start to arrive. And that was from DJ, just saying, you know what, we are not alone in the world. This also now gives the opportunity on bottom lane to attack into Pasha. A little bit difficult, he's still got the 2 points up in Dragon Blood. They don't have an easy way around that. Well, Abed gives Overward. Giving a little bit of extra vision, and SK, he'll shrug off any kind of damage thanks to the Shadow Word of Warlock.
There's something really satisfying about seeing DJ just continuously toss that tree. Doesn't even really do that much damage.
It's not that mana cost, not high mana cost either, it's just the cooldown of 18 seconds.
Yes, Roger, his first rotation, he was up here for quite some time, is not going to succeed. And DJ just continues to wait in the trees.
Actually, I thought you'd find it more satisfying to, okay, does he toss him back? Yeah, straight in, underneath Arbed. The Burrow Strike is there from Roger to ensure there is enough time for the TP out, but Universe, he's arrived so quick with that haste rune. Killing off Roger and spilling the first blood. Took over 6 minutes to get this first blood.
That was very, very delayed, but nice rotation from Universe. VP only going to lose their Sand King, so not the worst thing in the world for them, but
I think DJ wants to go again. Yeah. Wrapping around the back of Solo, he's in a good position to get the toss off. All he needs to do is just close the distance, but no! Solo goes up, Universe goes down as he ends up dying. Not exactly where he wanted to do that, underneath the tier 1 tower. And Eternal Envy just backs off from Pasha and Ramses.
Gonna farm some skeletons as Envy thought he considered.
DJ, oh. Here goes your toss once more. Pick him up, throw him back. Solo's gonna go for the defensive Shadow Word. DK is on the way, so is Roger, but he's too far away to land the double stun. Solo into the trees, the tree toss is there. And Solo will finally fall. That's what they tried to do before. Now they succeeded.
At first you don't succeed, as at bottom, Envy getting very aggressive right now. Does have the level 6, so he is able to do this.
Yeah, it's not that much of a surprise for Eternal Envy when he wants to get aggressive. Yep. In this type of lane. I always remember his Weaver Phase Boots build. Second he got Time Lapse was always diving underneath towers. Doesn't care about expending abilities if the end result is going to be a kill.
At the same time, if you're wondering why he hasn't leveled the ulti, it's because if he gets in a really bad situation, you don't want to have to just waste it.
He just leveled it. Pilot Eyes coming in from the side, trying to Nightmare onto Solo. Ramsey's really slowed up. They're going to upheaval to make this a little bit more difficult. The Nightmare allows for a repositioner, Hellfire Blast in 1 second time. Envy, who's he focused on? He still wants Ramses, but he'll have to settle for Solo. Not what he wanted to have happen, but Solo with the extra crit means Fnatic have enough damage to find the kill.
Yeah, nice grab from them as Envy forced into a position where he does level the ult. Normally what ends up happening is that people want to expend that Wraith King ult as fast as possible. Like they want to force it so that the Wraith King can't really play aggressively. So what they'll do is they'll rotate down with a bunch of heroes. And
I like how you say can't play aggressively, is that Envy walks in behind the towers looking for a kill. Roger's low too. Envy, Burrow Strike up. He wasn't ready for this one. Roger's Sandstorm is going to kill off EE. The one charges, 25 HP. The Chakrams just off target. Oh, he's going to miss again. Envy will die. He will not survive in the trees. No way that is happening. While Viper on the top lane, they need the damage to kill off Pasha through that Dragon Blood. It is possible. He ticks back at base. The Dragon Knight falling.
And a very aggressive move by both sides as Dragon Knight actually looks like he went down inside the base. And at bottom, Envy didn't have the ult, but was more than willing to go for that dive, and kind of think that's worth it. They killed the gyrocopter to get XP.
You did just give like a double kill over to a Timbersaw, a kill over to the Timbersaw, however. He's now at 4-point-ish, like 2K-ish net worth. So no one's becoming very, very powerful. With Roger getting that stun, Timber Chain through with the Chakram, Pylai die, Roger's Sandstorm will secure the kill. So another support kill, assist for no one. But this Timbersaw is getting big.
Abed, though, is taking the top tower with the help of DJ, playing a hero that we don't normally see.
They're going on Pasha once again. He's going to go into Dragon form. Ramses is in the neighborhood just by baiting him in. That call down available for Ramses, but no homing missile. Very rarely do we get to see this from a gyrocopter without a single point in it.
Opting not to go for it at all, as
DJ. Walking past, tossing him around, gets hit by one of the call downs. The second rocket barrage should be enough to kill DJ. In fact, it will be.
Nice pickup for Ramses, as Envy now forced into the jungle, does not want to fight against this Timbersaw, which is exactly why he's down here, as no one is going to bully him out. We already talked about how good he is against these melee heroes, and he already has that hood completed. A lot of magic damage on the side of Fnatic. Good pickup for him early on.
Keep that momentum rolling. But for now, they're just babysitting no one on the bottom lane. Roger's DD rune not really going to be able to be utilized. Solo's in the middle of nowhere underneath the Dire Observer Ward. Looks like he's just preparing stacks for Ramses to farm. I'm actually wondering just how easy it is to do these stacks. So you prepare big ones, but what happens if Underlord wants to move over? What if Envy's, whose reincarnation's coming off cooldown, decides to make a play?
I think it's pretty easy to protect, though, because you are by the shrine, and you haven't lost any of the crucial towers that aid in defending it, which is why we see no one down here in the first place. Like, if you're wondering why this Timbersaw is down here, it's because, A, he gets to bully Envy out. You limit the amount of farm because you can't die as this Timbersaw at this phase of the game, and it also protects your bottom safe lane tower, which is normally Dire's first objective that they want to grab. And it's actually the safe lane tower that is going to stay up, and the off lane tower that's going to fall first, it looks like.
I love how Roger is, he walks so obviously up into that tree line in perfect vision of Fnatic.
Yeah. This is a really nice tower for Fnatic, or for VP to take, sorry. As they're going to gain some control, it's going to make it harder for Fnatic to make these rotations down, and it's going to allow VP to just immediately run to mid if they want.
They smoked up.
Yeah, this is 2 games in a row that they've made this kind of play. I really like this pattern.
Well, they're looking for Eternal Envy. He's going to be the closest to him. Remember, he's got the Reincarnation, the Observer Ward. It doesn't actually see Envy farming. He's just far enough off to the side. So instead, they go for a different target. But that's an Underlord with a Hood of Defiance already completed. I am uncertain they can achieve this kill, but they'll give it a shot anyway. Ramses runs forward. The Pit of Malice is quite nice for a stun, but okay, they have enough damage. Combining with the Epicenter, Universe will fall.
That
They'd
is
be underestimating just how much work that Timbersaw does.
That is 2 games in a row that they've made that kind of play. And Abed, though, the response from Fnatic is to send Abed up here as up at top DJ and get gone on.
They just started with Dragon Form into Tail Stun, and DJ cannot escape from this one with the Dragon Form being committed and Solo having level 6. No one being in the neighborhood too. Viper knows there's no reason Abed just TPs in towards the mid lane. That top tower is gone.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Fnatic make some kind of counter rotation as a result of this.
They have Envy on the bottom lane. In fact, that's exactly where the Dark Rift universe is going. So they're just going to try and take the tier 1 tower on bottom lane as rebuttal.
I wonder if VP have any sort of inclination to try to defend this one as Roger's still set up.
They're looking towards mid. They want to gank up mid. Abed, the rock will drop. The Chakram is down, so Abed can't walk out this one. Combining it with the upheaval, it's so much slow. Support is here from Ramses as Timbersaw Fiend script up. He will not be broken free in time. But Gyrocopter wants to keep going for this fight. Into Pylai die. The Observer Ward reveals the fact that no one else is behind him still with the Fatal Bonds combining up. Pylai die will die under the tower. Not much more DJ can do about it. The bottom tier 1 tower did go the way of Fnatic. But it's a 2-for-1 trade-off. A big kill in the Timbersaw. But is it worth it?
I think that was a very nice grab from them. They managed to grab the bottom tower at the same time. They forced Roger out. Don't think it's the worst thing for them. They're going to create some space now.
As far as golden experience goes, it was only 100 gold-ish going the way of Virtus Pro in favor of the swing. So
yeah, it's not bad at all. And they expended the rock cooldown for the first time.
Yep.
They did get a kill on the Viper for it, but not much more than that. And Fnatic, if you look at their lineup, they're going to have to be a lot more active than they were in the last game, as they don't have that overwhelming late game core in that Medusa. Abed, who we typically see play these real one positions, is playing the Viper in a game like this. They want to take these early engagements if they can. The mid lane, DJ just going to get shoved out. Universe is here though. This is a tower that I think they absolutely should not concede on the side of Fnatic. Like the mid tower, losing control of it so early on last game made it so that they lost map control so early on that they were forced into the right side of their jungle, and it just limited all the movements that they could make.
Firestorm definitely is probably the best deterrent from this. Bottom lane, Epi sent a Fire Strike onto Eternal Envy. The Epi did get off. Barsha's still nearby. Gonna look for the stun. Pilot Eye looking to help out Eternal Envy as he Fiend Script onto the SK. And then the stuns. You'll lose the Sand King. They want Envy. Is there another stun available? They don't have it. Just Upheaval. And they'll have to settle for Pilot Die. Support for support.
That is well worth it for Fnatic as they managed to get Envy out. Would have been a kill otherwise, but Pilot Die very active in trying to defend his core, and now no one is going to make his way towards mid.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That is a 1k gold lead only for Virtus Pro, so a much better start this time around for Fnatic.
As long as they can still deal with the gyro as well as the Timber. But they've got things to work with. That's what they're working on bottom lane. Ramsey's the call down's out, but he doesn't have the distance. Eternal Envy getting homing missile solo. Potentially can Fatal Bond, Shadow Word fight this out, but there's 13 one charges on Eternal Envy, so Solo, hey, you actually can't fight anything. You can die is what you can do. As Fnatic, 2 back-to-back kills on bottom lane. The top lane's being forced, so Arbed will take the tier 1 tower as well. Things are starting to look better for Fnatic.
Would have liked to see a little bit of chat wheel usage.
Are you trying to gauge the spirits of the Fnatic players, are you?
Yeah, I mean, they got to know that Virtus Pro's doing it. Envy could have given them that just happened. As Solo, he was really confident in that. He walked in thinking, I will just kill him. He has no ult. I'll look like the hero. Instead, he just reads a free kill towards Envy. He's having a much better time this time around.
Oh, where's the stack, Solo?
And DJ already has a Blink Dagger on this. I mean, I'm loath to call it a support Tiny at this point. He's barely behind the Dragon Knight in farm.
Yeah, he's the initiation. He's the safety initiation, not relying on Wraith King to do it. Wraith King is still trying to be part of the gang squad, but real ganking comes with the power of smoke. Both Roger as well as Solo under the cover of that behind the tier 1 tower in mid.
This is the tower that Fnatic really didn't want to give up.
But they also know they really can't fight this just yet. They're too split up. Envy just TP towards the top.
Do like Envy's move though. He's trying to become a hunter. This is what he needed to do in the last game. This time around,
he needs friends to make this hunt work. Like he's going to find Ramses, hits him with a Hellfire Blast and realizes there's not much more to do. Instead, he's going to come back towards mid, defend his teammate. Universe is bailing. The Dark Rift has been triggered. And VP are happy to let it happen.
They're going to run a Pilot Die right here? Or are they? Is
Pilot Eye running into them? Dragon Tail stun. They want to back off. The Dragon Form has only got another 10 seconds left.
And
coming in from the top. SK, Sandstorm, nice and quick. Fire Strike up, gets himself up the hill, but the Firestorm is right in the middle of it. More picks for Fnatic going their way.
And it all started with Abed tanking that first gank. They used the epicenter on him. He simply just 4 staffs away. There's no follow-up damage from Virtus Pro. They also lost Gyrocopter at the same time with the help of DJ.
It's still amazing just how much net worth these 2 cores still have on Virtus Pro. So for all the kills, for everything the Fnatic is catching up, and yes, they are definitely in front of the DK, the Gyrocopter and the Timbersaw are still a force to be reckoned with, and they're going to try it. Timbersaw on bottom lane working against Pilot Eye. He thought he was okay, but VP come as 5 to this engagement.
Yeah, they're not going to let somebody die solo anymore.
especially when the Bloodstone charges are there on the Timbersaw now. He needs to ensure these charges remain up.
Yeah, that's one of the most demoralizing things is you get the Bloodstone, you immediately die after. Yes, you do respawn instantly, but it's a sad respawn.
Eternal Envy's going to have a crack at him. Tiny's in the neighborhood as well, so no one in trouble. There goes the Hellfire Blast. Support's a little bit too far away. They already wanted to TP down before. But then again, it's Timbersaw.
He's got a hood. He pops the active as soon as he sees the Tiny. He says there's no way that they can touch me. No one is being a beast in this game. 2-1-6. The highest net worth by far in this game.
It feels almost optimistic for Eternal Envy just to show himself like in such a maneuver.
Nah, you gotta send a message if you're Envy. It's not about getting the kill, Toby. It's about
like, I'm willing to gank you at any time. This time I'm not real, but next time who knows?
Yes.
Are you actually trying to Boy Who Cried Wolf this?
That's the analogy I had in my head, but I was like, that is a silly one to use, but thank you.
Alright, you want something silly to have happen? I can do that for you.
You covered it for us.
Yeah, got you, bro. Gyrocopter needs to farm up that stack. That's a big ancient stack. Good money for the Warlock as well as the SK if he can clear this off. Yeah, the pings are coming. He's on his way over. Money, 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 money.
Very nice stack for them to clear as a group, as Ramses loads up the BKBs in his inventory.
They're looking to fight. They found Eternal Envy. The Observer was there. Timber chain through. Burrow strikes perfect in the chakra positioning. Virtus Pro get through it. Roger, the epicenter is out. Support took a while to get in, but Eternal Envy just can't do anything. He's dead before he can have his second breath. Now Universe wants to escape. Have they got the damage to get through before the Dark Root can complete? They do not. The homing missile, however, go. The little missile that could.
This is so you don't forget.
You just Orlando Bloom him?
Just dinks him in the head. And a very nice pickup as Fnatic. They try to make the rotation over. They did not expect Envy to die at the speed that he did, but a very, very clean rotation from VP. Now they're starting to ramp things up a little bit, but it's Fnatic that still hold the gold lead.
To be honest, I was actually kind of expecting Envy to get like more tankier style items at the beginning instead of the Shadow Blade. Rely on the tiny toss to be that initiation.
But I think he just wants to get the Silver Edge and try to kill the Timbersaw.
That's what it's all about?
Yeah, I think he sees his team and he says, well, we have mainly magic damage and our physical damage doesn't do too much against this Timber to begin with.
So that's why it's priority number one.
Yeah, exactly. But normally when Envy's playing a hero like this, it's Abed that's playing more of a true one position core. But they might just find Ramses here, and this is where the Shadow Blade might just pay off.
Under Shrine, however, if Ramses wants to stay there, Viper's on the way. Here comes Roger, the Burrow Strike, cancelling off the Fiend's Grip. Hides inside the Sandstorm, and Roger, Highlight Eye. There is little he can do to survive this one. He's got a homing missile on the way. He doesn't even survive that long.
You could see some disconnect in the side of Fnatic right there, as when Envy goes in for the stun, Highlight Eye immediately follows up, and once he pops the Fiend's Grip, Envy's already running out of there. I think he realized, okay, this is a bad move, but Pi did not get the message. They can't just really afford to give up kills like that.
DJ's getting some pressure on the bottom lane. Pasha, he's got a Shadow Blade now on that DK. Initiation onto DJ is so much easier. He's just waiting because support is on the arrival. Ramses right behind him. DJ nowhere to really escape this one. Burrow striked up, the homing missile, they just watch.
Now VP take the very slight lead back. And the BKB is now completed on the side of Ramses. A really good timing at that.
Envy walks into the middle of no one. Dust is out, no one. Looks like he actually wants to fight this one. Pala is nearby, copped a shark him to the face. Down to 2/3 of his life, but the Nightmare keeps Timbersaw at bay.
I love when cores do this, by the way. When they buy the dust for themselves because they know, I'm going to be the first one in. I should do that. Please take note, people in my pubs. This is a good thing to do.
Where the cores actually buy support items as well. Wait, I shouldn't even call them support items, utility items.
Yeah, I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm normally the one playing mid, and I don't do that.
Yeah. So you're talking to yourself is what you're actually talking to.
Gentle reminders, man.
There you go. Cap, you can hold him to it.
Timbersaw just gonna think about TPing out, but instead opts to stay. Probably wants to secure that top tower for the rest of his team.
They can do it. Pylai Dai is waiting in the trees. He's got Fiend's Grip available. But how do you want to fight this? You don't. In fact, they're already TPing back to base. Smoke is available on Pylai Die, but that Observer Ward is watching so closely. And they smoke underneath it. So Virtus Pro, even more information, just like game 1. That fight, Fnatic semi-bailed out of. This time around, Pasha walks in, he'll break the smoke, and he finds Abed. Abed right on the back lines. The Tiny can toss around Soul if he wants to, and they can kill him off, but no! Roger, the Burrow Strike keeping Envy and DJ out of the fight, allowing Ramses to get the high amount of damage off Eternal Envy, trying to walk away. Now the Ankh finally will pop. Solo's still the only casualty in this fight, but Wraith King, holy Anna, he dies so quickly. Underlord just wants to take everybody home and forget this whole nightmare as DJ waits in the trees, not using his TP just yet. Is he actually hoping they can pick up the DK? Yep, Avalanche is out, but where's your detection? It does not exist. VP's looking towards Roshan.
There's a little bit of disconnect there as DJ, and he really needs to pick up detection himself. He does manage to grab the dust afterwards, but you see that VP are being very forward-thinking. No one picking up dust for himself. Neither of the supports on Fnatic had one available, so he's going to get out for free, and now it's going to be the Roshan, which it's not easy for them to take with this lineup. Gyrocopter being one of the worst heroes, very notorious at being poor at taking this Roshan, and Timbersaw, of course, deals no right click.
Pasha just broke the smoke on all of them in the mid-river. So
twice now.
Portal into Ramses. Here goes Roger once again. Just wants the Burrow Strike, so they've got the initiation. Pylai Die going down so quickly with no real way to survive.
Pasha, he's on the hunt right now. He wants the stun.
And, well, they've got it in. They got the control. Universe, the Whirling Death making it difficult. The Rock is down. Fatal Bonds needs to follow up, able to do so. So now it's up to no one. Has to dish out the damage. Envy, he's going to take it right now for the entire team. Quite literally, he keeps sharing out the damage. And they're going for more. DJ, trouble in the mid lane. Ramses on him. And Abed, this TP will complete. Not enough damage there from no one to finish the job, but still, a large amount of heroes going down for Fnatic, and two big ones as well. The Tiny as well as the Wraith King taking a fall.
They do manage to grab the Dragon Knight at the same time, though, so it's not the worst trade for them, but giving up the Aegis like that is going to hurt quite a bit in a game where they're already a little bit down. As 5k gold lead for Virtus Pro. They've done such a good job of picking this up for themselves. And it's normally Fnatic that sneak those sort of Roshans, but this time around Virtus Pro go for one of their own. As Fnatic, there's no way that they would have known about that, considering they don't. It doesn't look like Virtus Pro, if you glance at their heroes, it's very easy for them to take.
You can see the confidence they do. Like, when Solo died that early in the fight, Fnatic did a fantastic thing. They made sure there was going to be no Rock Fatal Bonds, the fight wasn't going to be one-sided, but it had to give that confidence for VP just to sit inside the pit. If Fnatic want to come in, sure. Then they actually use the combination. Solo so far away. But this is a beautiful position now for Virtus Pro. 6,000 gold advantage. The experience is skyrocketing as well to 7.5 to 8k. They have the momentum and it's continuing.
Yeah, and once again, Fnatic in a really weird position. In the last game, we felt like they weren't doing enough in the early game, and this time around, it feels like they're not doing enough in the mid game.
Nice Nightmare, canceling the Timber Chain. And Pylai running down just to try and be a little bit more elusive. Oh wow, no one actually went down the same way. Whirling Death, but Chakra, not enough damage quick enough.
Feels like he can play very recklessly now, though. So many items to his name right now with such a short period of time.
Yeah, he's on the way to his Shiva's Guard as well.
And a Silver Edge almost completed by Pasha himself. It's going to be very nice against Fnatic.
Eternal Envy wishes he had that money. He actually never finished the Silver Edge. He's going in for BKB instead.
He was off to such a hot start, but feels like he's not finding the initiations anymore, and that is a fully completed butterfly on the side of this gyrocopter, almost doubling up Envy's net worth when we compare the 2-1 positions. If you even want to call it that, is Envy playing offlane in all three of these games, or both of these games, I should say.
Yeah, it's neck and neck. It's a shared 3, is what it is. Timbersaw is on his way north. Fnatic, they were preparing an attack. Eternal Envy's the only one left behind. Wait, he's got no TP scroll. His Invis comes off cooldown in just a second. There's no dust this time around on no one. Roger's on the way in. He does have the dust. They're trying to check where he is. There it is. The blink into the dust with the Burrow Strike. And they will kill Eternal Envy twice over, leaving his reincarnation on cooldown for 2 minutes. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Ramses. Okay, he'll get University TP away to safety. Homing missile. Needed a half a second longer to actually connect on the Underlord.
Really nice of no one to check up there, and Envy. C9 comes to haunt him as caught without a TP.
DJ trying to start the run. The Sharkham's going to drag back in again, avalanching around the corner, and all no one has to do is keep keeping that Blink Dagger on cooldown. And he did a perfect job. It was only half a second before DJ was going to get it back off cooldown. The Sharkham connected.
Maybe
DJ,
he still gets out.
There's the blink. He went to the side, and they're chasing him. He heads down south. DJ, Avalanche, more space to be created. Needs another 7 seconds for blink, and time. Life doesn't have either. Mid lane, Ramses is back at it. Highlight Eye is the next one to fall, nightmaring up the DK. It was the man to initiate in on him.
Yeah, now they're just losing heroes individually on the map, 1 by 1. That is the 3rd straight solo kill in as many minutes for Virtus Pro. Now the gold lead builds to 8,000.
Yeah, this is the latest season of crumbling right now for Fnatic. They were in full defense mode. The Bloodstone Chargers can reign supreme. As you know what VP want to do, they still have that Aegis. Ramses goes high ground. Fortification almost instant from Fnatic. And Aegis Immortal will time out. So they lose that little bit of extra insurance for the Gyrocopter. But you may not matter when no one is just this big. He wants to keep tanking the tower. Reactive armor charges up. Not to mention, everyone else from VP can just tank it.
Yeah. Right now, I see two kind of like fairly large issues with Fnatic's lineup. Is they don't really have this scary high ground hero. Like, they're not worried about an Echo Slam this game. I'm not sure what they're worried about. Like, the worst thing that could happen to them. Yeah, Blink Toss back into tier 4s is probably the scariest thing that they have to worry about. And the other issue, too, is that I don't think they have the better late game. I feel like in that game, Dusa might have always given them at least a 5% chance. But in this game, I do not feel the same way. And you can tell that Abed feels a lot more uncomfortable on this Viper, because normally he's playing this hero that if he gets farmed similar to Miracle, he'll just carry. But in this game, I think this Viper probably needed to fight a little bit more, but not finding any opportunities. And so he's going back to his fallback of just farming creeps, but he's playing a Viper.
Roger has the Gem of True Sight. He saw Eternal Envy trying to get aggressive, and Envy, with no one on his tail, knows that death is nigh. Again, they burn. DJ jumps in. The Avalanche will connect on both, but so will the Burrow Strike. Epicenter, Envy is gone. DJ will join him in the afterlife. Universe wants to pull him out, and DJ, well, into the trees. There's still going to be 2 heroes dead without buyback. Fnatic more than on the ropes.
Things are starting to get pretty brutal now, as that is a 12k gold lead. It just feels like Fnatic have not garnered any sort of momentum in this game. It feels like they're just giving up kill after kill at this point.
Timber's trying to put another one on the board, but Arbeb is a little too tanky with that Aghanim Scepter build for him.
Dragon Knight gonna pop his dragon form, walk uphill
Sentry's
very confidently.
There. So that's why they see him. Roger even blinks into the middle, but down goes the Obs and Sentry.
Yeah, Pasha taking a lot of damage, trying to get out of that Nether Toxin.
Ramsey just having a good old time, beating into that range rank, bit by bit. She starts to fall. The Crimson Guard's protecting it a little bit. It's only a matter of time. Tiny's back to the world of living, so they need that blink toss. They need to bring someone back into the tier 4 towers, but Ramses turns on the BKB and the flat cannon damage. Highlight even using Nightmare to try and dodge it. There's your toss back. They're going for no one. He's a huge kill if they can claim, and the Fiend Script held him there. And Arbed finally getting some extra cash coming his way, ending a 6x kill streak of no one. But the cost is their mid-racks.
Fnatic, like you said, a very big pickup on that Timbersaw, but he's already alive again, and the next Roshan might just end this game. It's Fnatic, their high ground does not look too impressive. They don't really have a lot of fallback heroes.
I'm surprised to watch Arbed go in for a more defensive item like a Shiva's Guard. I thought he would actually just go all out Glass Cannon, understanding that he's like the primary source of the damage for his team. TP will begin, Pasha Dragon Tail Stun will cancel it off. And, well, the good thing is he's got enough money for buyback. Tries to go for a Hurricane Pike, and no one just timber chains through him.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
And they're going to go for the other remaining shrine. As DJ is invised up, trying to see if he can find something or get something going.
It's so hard to do though when you don't know where the SK is with that Gem of Truth side. Again, we almost walked on top of him.
This is a nice
again.
toss
The
back.
toss pulling in a very long way. No one, can they kill him twice over? Lower these Bloodstone charges, it's difficult. But that's what the Spirit Vessel is for. Trying to slow down that regeneration on no one.
They're going to have to commit the buyback.
Nice stun onto the Tiny, jumping in deep. Fatal Bonds connects all four of them together with the Burrow Strike. All that shared damage spilling through the Fnatic lineup, but now Arbed into the lines. No one ticking down fast, and they move their next target. Gem of True Sight lost by Roger. Pasha, he's still in pretty deep here. They want to go for more. Viper Strike just came back off cooldown here.
He's gonna all in commit for this.
So now he actually cannot disappear. They even take care of the racks. He just denied his own melee racks, looking for another target after Ramses. You have Solo slowing things down with the upheaval. They just can't reach him. They're trying to reach him, but they can't do jack.
Solo with the play, and Fnatic denying their own racks, even though nobody else from VP was going to commit for that.
I think it was the Corrosive Breath of the DK. That's what attacked it. They're just like, well, it's gone anyway. Deny him what they can. Solo will die for the saving grace of his gyrocopter. Kind of want to watch that denial.
How close it would have been?
Yeah, how close it would have been for the... Because I think the Corrosive Breath had it.
That's one of those things that you actually should just watch the replay for.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we catch it in this, because it's a little bit later in the fight, but it's the perfect Fatal Bonds and Roger. He has really been a star.
Yeah.
Absolute star of this VP lineup.
And no one, surprisingly, goes down very quickly there. You see that Ramses all in commits for this.
That's where our replay will stop.
I'm pretty sure you're right, though.
Yeah. I'm fairly certain with it. I doubt Universe would have hit it if he didn't think it was gone.
Yeah, that's one of those awkward situations that can't really check back in time.
Yep. Aghanims have to just arrive for a Timbersaw, so double the fun, double the chakrams. It's Fnatic. They really need to start this push. They need to get some distance on this map now that they've lost 1.5 lanes of racks. Because things like this is just way too easy for Virtus.pro to do. They're sentry warding, observing. Smoke is up from Fnatic. They want to come in deep. Roshan's at 4.7k. Timber's just sitting there building up reactive armor charges. Envy jumps in. It's a nice pit with the Viper Strike, but now FB Center from SK with the Burrow Strike. Eternal Envy will pop as up goes Arbed to the high ground, trying to battle from up here. They're at least able to lock down Roger using Envy's death as an opening, but the rock is so good from Solo, and again the Fatal Bonds. Fnatic, they're losing 2, they're losing 3. Eternal Envy is down, Arbed will follow, and this may even be the game right now. The base is already ripped apart, and only the Underlord survived.
He's going to make it out, but without the rest of his team, not a whole lot they can do as VP going to start marching into bottom lane.
They're losing top lane range racks as well, and yeah, bottom lane will follow. Here's your buyback from Eternal Envy. His reincarnation just came back off cooldown, TPing to the front lines. Envy looking for the stun. I don't know if there really is much of a follow-up here because no one else can actually TP in. They go for the upheaval. They can't outwalk it with the call down too. They protect themselves with the Crimson Guard.
Universe
but now
is getting low.
Universe, he needs to do more and he can't do anything. Stunned up by the homing missile. Eternal Envy will stand his ground and fight. There's the buyback out from Universe. The reincarnation, Wraith King, he wants to jump forward, goes for the stun onto Solo. The problem is his tier 4 towers are currently under siege. The rest of his team can't come and join him or else they're going to lose more of their buildings. He doesn't have reincarnation. The pick can go down, but so does Envy. They move further forward. Universe, he's just going back to base. There is no jumping into the other side of the map this time around. It is Fnatic on full D.
2 heroes down, their base starting to get ravaged. They do manage to defend that last set of racks though. Don't even lose a tower in that attempt. But Roshan is still available for VP.
And that's what they've gone back for.
It's going to be an easy grab for them as Ramses is so strong at this point. They struggle to bring him down once. They're going to have to do it twice to stand any chance at staying in this game. This VP probably just going to heal up and go for it again.
Yep, exactly what they're doing. Gyro burns the shrine. The bottom tower won't survive long. Next time around is at 328 HP. A very simple task for Virtus Pro with their current abilities. Even a fresh Lotus Orb up for SK. A Shiva's Guard for Viper, so Arbeb buying out everything he possibly can. As far as buybacks go, you've only got one on the Tiny. That's all that's left. Bane is short of the money. Everyone else has the cooldown timer, and they're coming out. 4-man smoke up. You don't have the Wraith King just yet. Fake gyrocopters are going into the base, but this smoke is so hard to work when the creep wave is entering in through the top lane. Someone has to break this smoke of deceit.
Oh,
either that, or you get that, you basically get the toss. You need Pasha. They trigger it, they pull him back in again. They want Pasha with the Fiend's Grip, a full committal, and they've got him. 82 seconds down. The DK, the only one not to grab an extra trinket from Roshan.
Yeah, and VP, they did not want to fight that as Pasha went in, but Ramses had accidentally popped the BKB, which forced full retreat mode, even with the Aegis, without the BKB on him. I don't know how confident they feel about that fight.
Not much, it seems. But they can let Fnatic simmer. They still have the Aegis, they still have the cheese.
Man, Solo might actually be the MVP again this year.
You want to throw it on him? I've been loving the work that Roger's been doing.
I mean, that upheaval.
He's been that great initiation.
His upheaval timing has saved the fight from them like twice now.
Wait,
they would have lost more cores if not for that. Like, they would have lost the gyrocopter for sure at that top engagement when he was running away after the Thrax, and they would have lost some heroes at bottom at the same time too.
It's so hard to vote for someone by saying, hey man, stand still and then cast this ability in the area and just channel.
Yeah, but you can say that about most stuff in Dota.
You can. Hey Zeus, well done. You pressed R. Trouble on bottom lane. It's Solo being ganked up. You shouldn't have said anything. Woo! There's the Death Rock. The DJ and Universe. Much needed pressure release. Solo's dead for 70 seconds, so that's a decent amount of time. Ooh. He's jumping on the back of that
skeleton.
TP. Is that what they're doing here? Pilot Eye pops out the other side. Here comes your blast. Lincoln Spear actually Lotus Orb and Lincoln's protecting him out. And then the jump away. Fnatic can't get the initiation. Envy cops a lot of damage for this. Begins his TP and Roger. He's there once again, cancelling the TP out. Envy dropping low. Reincarnation will pop. Roger, not a healthy man, ticking out to the Viper Strike, but he won't go down the whole way. Now it's VP on the aggression. They move forward. Arbed to go down, and they go another Burrow Strike through. The chains just keep rolling. 2 heroes down for Fnatic. The buyback is there for Pylai Die, but there's no more tier 4 towers. They're all lost. The Rock is taking out bottom, and Fnatic will actually call it. GG, well played. Fnatic up through to the grand final of ESL 1 Katowice.
And that was a very dominant 2 games from them as they were so active around the map. They read Fnatic perfectly. Very clean performance from them.
Yeah, VP have to be very happy with that one. With the dominating performance you can also see from VG Gaming in the 2 games they won against Team Liquid. I also think that grand final is going to be one hell of a nail-biter. VP versus VG, both playing terrific Dota. Because we also have our 3rd place matchup with Liquid versus Fnatic, so it's not over for them. A lot of points on the line going towards TI, not to mention the extra cash. I believe actually winning that 3rd place matchup is like winning a minor as far as points go.
Very well done by VP as they look in top form. Some people questioned, namely me, how they would look with the addition of Roger. You never know with these things.
I think they look pretty good, man.
I think they look okay.
They look very, very good. Roger, we were singing his praises when we were casting at the Dream League Major. And I was like, man, this guy's absolutely amazing. He is such a great player. The star player for Na'Vi. Oh, wait, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's over in Virtus Pro. I was concerned that he wouldn't gel right, but he really seems to have found his moment.
Yeah,
and
not this quickly.
No, this quick. It just seems so easy the way VP run. They run a very fast pace. They're always looking for initiations. And Roger seems to be providing these 3 4-man stuns with his Sand King. Like, like the panel were calling us like, oh, I guess they're just going to pick up Sand King in the first two. Oh, yeah, they did, because they're just like, you know what, we're okay with this. This is a solid hero, a solid player, and a real solid team. Grats to Virtus Pro, and we'll go with them on the stage now.
Grats to Virtus Pro indeed. Solo, that was some strong work there. 2-0 lockout.
Thank you guys, we feel your support. Game was hard, so I'm happy that we will be playing in final again.
Well, you will be playing in the final again because we're going through to the final of a major tomorrow. Talk me through what you expect from that matchup tomorrow.
If be honest, I wanted to play against Vichy again after quarterfinals. So we were cheering for them at match against Team Liquid.
Why do you want to play them again?
Because they're strong now and they played really well against us. We were not ready at all, but now I feel that we...
Because it does seem over the past couple of games that we're seeing the Virtus Pro that we know is in there, the Virtus Pro that can play the quick, strong game.
We have our own style now, so I don't know.
You do know. You do know because you have won this game. You go through to the grand final. It's going to be amazing tomorrow. Put your hands together for this man Solo and his Virtus Pro team. And what we shall do is hand it back over to Paul Red-Eye Challenger.
Vodafone presents the post-match.
Thank you very much, OJ. Yes, and Virtus Pro do go through to the grand final. It also means confirmation of one of the things we've been talking about since the very first day of ESL 1. We are guaranteed a first-time double winner of an ESL 1 championship. It's never happened in the previous 9, but at the 10th attempt, either Vici Gaming or Virtus Pro will become the first ever double winner. Fantastic result for both of them. They'll go through the grand final. There's also the third place game tomorrow, which is for a cool $200,000 or the better part of that, and some healthy dollop of DPC points. So Fnatic still got to come back and do a job tomorrow, and it's Liquid that they'll face in that match. We're back at our panel once more to break down the final game of the day and talk about the whole of the day and exactly what's happened. It seems to be such a long time ago. Thank you so much for staying with us here in the Spodek Arena and all around the world for tuning in. Gents, let's recap first. Alan, terrific performance by Virtus Pro, really, across the series and across the day as well.
Yeah, the day was what I wanted to talk about because no one was just a beast today. That's 51 kills, 6 deaths, and 45 assists in 5 games. He now leads the tournament with over 8.5 KDA. That's 2 clear of the next best in the tournament. They elevated their level of play today, and they belong in the grand finals tomorrow.
They did. Kevin, thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I like to see the Eternal Envy Shadowblade Wraith King, especially with the phase boots. It was a little bit interesting. It kind of did what his Venge did, but they definitely hit some damage pumps in the mid game. Abed wasn't on a flashy hero either, and they were just kind of against a cliff by mid game.
Yeah, I mean, did it feel to you, Cap, that they had any chance in this game?
No, they certainly did have some chance. I mean, I think the Wraith King was probably one of the better picks they could have gotten. I actually think that it's classically a very good hero versus Gyrocopter. I do like that Fnatic are willing to take those kind of steps to be able to branch out and pick those kind of heroes as they've done in the past. They've picked up these Wraith Kings, mentioned Bristleback earlier. They're willing to do that, and I think that's a big source of strength for them. Unfortunately, the biggest problem I think everybody, the whole panel, had with the Wraith King is that you then had an Abed Viper. That feels like a... Well,
I mean, look, Abed, I got confused by the end of that. My brain was trying to think of a way to not put Abed on Viper. This is one of the top 5 most mechanically skilled players in the world, I feel, and you're putting him on Viper in an elimination match at the top 4 of a major. It's a very good draft on paper from a theory crafting perspective, but I'm a big believer in putting your big players in position to win you the game, and I don't think Viper's the hero to do that.
On the flip side, sorry, Kevin, go ahead.
I think if the Fnatic team just had a little bit more early game advantage, or maybe shaved off some items rather than going full Hurricane Pike, maybe just get a 4-staff, and then you jump into an Axe faster, they would have had more damage, they would have had more teamfight capabilities, or maybe if Envy gets a faster BKB or something, then they could actually take those mid-game fights and they wouldn't look so one-sided. But they didn't get to that point. It wasn't until like the game was a little out of reach until their fights actually looked respectable.
Yeah, I was going to say on the flip side, for the first time in 10 months, Cap, you called it, the Timbersaw. That worked out.
Yeah, go Timber.
But it also shows that Virtus Pro are quite happy to bring out something they don't play normally and haven't played for a long time, and whatever fits, because it did fit. but we were a bit worried because they haven't played it.
What was my other I mean, both of them were off the suggestion of you put this a Pasha Dragon Knight.
Yeah.
But that's, like, again, that's not something that VP, they usually would rather have it on no one.
Sure.
But, like, I think the other suggestion was OD, right? Like, either way, they were going to have to make some sort of switcheroo and do something that they weren't really used to. But, I mean, this is the team that went through Summit and, you know, didn't pick the same hero. You know, it's like, this is what Virtus Pro does. This is why they're such an awesome team to watch.
As well as being Vici Gaming's 4th time in a final this season, it's Virtus Pro's 3rd time, and they've won both the previous 2 in the DPC. It also means that Vici get a crack at the 4th team in the top 4. They've played the other 3 already, Newbie, Secret, and Liquid in finals, lost to all of them. They get a chance now at Virtus Pro. Is this repeating itself, Alan?
I mean, look, I told you at Genting, I thought Vici Gaming rather, were the team that were best positioned to take that shot at the top 4, and I guess they got it.
Yeah,
because,
they definitely got it.
Yeah, they have had to go through a loaded field to get here already, and they have to face that team in the grand finals, Virtus Pro, that just looked on fire today.
Yeah, and I sort of feel, Kevin, like they've been a bit of a sleeper team, Virtus Pro. We haven't really spoken about them much. They've kind of just gone through the bracket. They lost to Vici and dropped down, but that's okay. Then they get through the quarters, now they're through the... Suddenly, they're in the grand final.
Yeah,
we've got to take them seriously now.
Yeah, I think that's true for sure, especially after the games that they played today. Both of the sets were pretty impressive from them. It makes them look like the team to beat, although it's hard to say against Vici Gaming. Both of them are just really refined. I feel like they have good strategies compared to the current meta heroes, and it'll be cool to see what they do tomorrow.
You can probably hear in the background the Virtus Pro fans are still here cheering on their team.
Oh, why not?
And why not? Because the players have nicely hung around as well. It's very late here, but they've hung around, so well done to them. We are going to check in with our Play Faster moment by Vodafone today. It's a very special Play Faster moment today because a new record was set by a man who has been taking a lot of plaudits over these last 5 days. It is, of course, the one and only Miracle. He leads the MVP poll. And today, you don't get much faster than this. In fact, you don't get ever faster than this, than a 30-minute farm on Jug. It's the fastest of all time. Alan,
22,
if we could do a better Play Faster today, I don't know what it would be.
22K net worth at 30 minutes, and although Liquid did ultimately fall today, you know, it feels like this is the position that they've put Miracle in so many times this tournament. Kid, here's your farm, go win me the game, and he is up to the challenge.
He absolutely is. The fastest 30-minute farm Jug of all time. That is your Play Faster by Vodafone moment of the day. And nicely done. Let's just wrap up our final thoughts on where we are so far, because we've had almost the entire tournament, 2 games left. How is it shaken out for you?
For me, I think the biggest thing is actually a conversation that goes back to ESL 1 Genting that Alan and I had probably on panel, which was Vici Gaming and where they're at. And, you know, I was, you know, had my doubts about them, but I definitely agreed that they had the potential to be able to move forward. I did not expect them to reach that potential this quickly. They're in the grand finals already. So for me, that's just a big leap for Vici Gaming. See how they do in the grand finals tomorrow, but I actually do favor them in that matchup. So it really does show that we had those, you know, kind of top 3, top 4 not so long ago in Genting. Can anyone really touch those teams? And we're just seeing like teams pop up and actually take sometimes series, sometimes a whole entire tournament against them.
Okay, Kevin, I'm going to get your final thoughts in just a moment. Alan, I just want to check in with you on Fnatic. Right, we haven't spoken about them because they have got top 4, they have got some DPC points, still got a shot at 3rd tomorrow. That's still a decent result.
That's actually that 3rd place series for them is actually massive, because if you look at where they sit in the DPC standings, they're actually slightly outside the top 8, and I believe they missed out on qualifying for the next 2 majors, and the 3 squads that are ahead of them are all in. They really need that 3rd place decider match tomorrow.
Yeah, they do. Kevin, final thoughts? What have you made of the tournament so far?
I mean, it was a great run for Fnatic. I don't think they should be upset at all about the path they took. They can still work hard, maybe take the 3rd against Liquid. It's going to be an uphill battle, but might be possible as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much to all 3 of you and to all of the crew here in Katowice. As you can probably hear in the background, the Spodek Arena is starting to... Actually, it's nearly empty. Everyone's gone home, and I don't blame... Almost everyone's gone home. Well done for staying. Hardcore. That's what I like. We're going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for coming down to the Spodek Arena today. It has been another magical day of Dota 2 inside a magical arena, and tomorrow we'll do it all again for the 3rd, 4th place playoff and the grand final. We'll see them.
And Arteezy Stonegate is gone. Epi nice, the double barrow strike, catching Misery too. This will be a triple kill for Ramses, and maybe even an ultra as the male will fall. Easy. VP, they're still going in to try and fight this one. The BKB is off cooldown for Ramses, but then again, he's raw. He never got it off. The Eclipse of the physical damage. It's huge for Arteezy. Standing the ground, Murder's Blow. They've lost 3, they've lost 4. Misery still hard to kill. The Shrine is nearby if he wants to try and burn this, and he's thinking about it. Is he really worth it? The body block from Pasha and the illusions of Naga.
Toss in there with the stun, will be reacted to by Lana.
They've got all their ultis ready.
They do, they could look for the setup here. Here we go, is it going to be enough? They look towards GH, they've got the control with the lasso, dragging and holding in place Miracle. Miracle will fall, GH tries for the TP out, he's not going to make it. BG Gaming, they'll get 2, they'll get 3. Ice Blast thrown down straight away onto Manani's trap. There, but Miracle, he gets the chance for the Blade Fury. He's looking for the chase down onto Paparazzi. Paparazzi will fall. Miracle, he levels up the ult. Jumps in with the Omni slash the extra bounces. Getting in the kill on Ori. They've got the stop down as well. February will fall. Miracle will lose his life. But Liquid, they've found 4. They've got the glitch back. They're going to find 5. 11 tries to TP out. He's not making it home tonight. Gaming is taking this base, is surely too much for Liquid. Miracle will find the tier 4s, but the base of Liquid's falling. GH is going in for the plays with a quick, that smooth Dragon Tail.
One here from VP has arrived, and they need that stun. The swap, oh no!
They need to get out full retreat mode.
Oh, run away, run away, run away. Mistakes were made. Yeah, there's an opening, but the rock is so good from Solo. And again, the fatal bonds. Fnatic, they're losing 2, they're losing 3. Eternal Envy is down, Arbed will follow. And this may even be the game right now. The base is already ripped apart.
I want to get in there.
Wow, I'm not dead.
Are you dead? Yeah, I'm dead.
Never, dude!
Dude, look at that macro pyre, dude. Oh my god.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Life is all about following a few simple rules. Get married. Move to the suburbs. Start a family. Be humble. Time to grow up.
Ding a ding ding.